sweet sounds of jazz are back in the Bronx. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is set to play his first game since April, and he'll switch back over to the hot corner as the Bombers get his special mix of power and speed in their lineup again. He'll look to open the homestand on a high note as the New York Yankees host the Cleveland Guardians on a Tuesday night at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We certainly hope you're having a great night as we welcome you to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and Todd Frazier with you. 1-3 between the Yanks and Cleveland. Yankees coming off a road trip. They steal that game on Sunday. Really well-played game against the Dodgers. And now they're back home after being on the road for a while. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Well, yeah, much-needed win there, especially after the 2 losses there right away. Welcome home. Welcome back. There's a couple new faces that are back, but again, the Yankees are back as well. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is back. Much needed. He'll be at third base today. And then you got Fernando Cruz, who, as we know, we'll talk about Luke Weaver. He's down. Now Cruz is back. He can help out in a long way. And it's good to be back home. They've been playing really well. This is a team that's been hitting really well, and they're the talk of the town right now, and they're doing their job.
All right. Speaking of Weaver, let's get the latest on what's happening with him as we get it out to the stadium. Meredith Morakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. Never a good thing when we start with a Morgan & Morgan injury report. We say that all the time, Meredith. And there is the latest news on Luke Weaver, what's going on with him and his stint on the IL.
Bob, unfortunately, he is headed to the IL with a hamstring strain, and he has been such a big part of this Yankees bullpen dating back to last season. But if you look at his numbers this year, he's pitching to an ERA just over 1. Opposing batters hitting just 128 against him. He started as the setup man, then he was moved back into that closer role where he excelled, converting 8 of 9 save opportunities. Luke Weaver's pretty optimistic. He spoke in the clubhouse today that it's not going to be all that long, but it is a hamstring. It takes time. There maybe will be a PRP involved, but it's a blow to this Yankees bullpen, according to Aaron Boone.
Huge. I mean, he's been, one of the best relievers in the sport now, going back to last year and obviously early this year. So definitely a blow, one that I think we can handle and withstand and hopefully, especially not being an arm injury or anything like that. So hopefully something that, over the long haul and long haul of the season, serves him and us well, just preserving him a little bit and making him hopefully all the more better for us when he comes back and down the stretch.
What's your understanding of the time frame for his return?
We'll see. I know he feels pretty good. He just told me I saw 15 days on that IL. So we'll see. We'll see. With these soft tissue injuries, hammies, calves, etc. We've been getting these guys moving kind of the last couple of years pretty quick. So I'm sure he'll be throwing and even running to some degree in short order. Probably depending if he needs a PRP or gets one or not. That could slow it a couple days, but we'll just see. We'll listen to the body, see how he's responding, and hopefully on the shorter side of things.
Do you think 15 days is realistic?
No,
okay.
I know, but we'll see. I'm not going to put a time frame on it. Hopefully it's on the shorter end of things.
And there were a slew of roster moves today, Luke Weaver being one of them. He was placed on the injured list, as we mentioned. Also, Fernando Cruz is back, so that will help the bullpen. He's been reinstated from the IL. Jazz Chisholm Jr., as Todd mentioned, is back. He's playing third base tonight. Yorvit Vivas optioned to AAA, and Carlos Carrasco was designated for assignment. Speaking of Jazz, I asked Aaron Boone earlier what it meant to him to be able to pencil his name back in that lineup.
Yeah, excited. Obviously a very dynamic player for us, both sides of the ball, lengthens our lineup, can beat you a lot of different ways, and I know he's excited to be back and raring to go. So, fired up for that.
So Jazz is at third base. DJ LeMahieu is in there at second base. Aaron Boone saying that before he even left on this road trip, Jazz Chisholm Jr. went into his office and said, anywhere you need me to play, I am willing to play. This is about winning a ring. I won a ring at the end of this. So the Yankees opting to use Jazz Chisholm Jr. at third base. When he came over from the Marlins last year, he had never played an inning at third base in his professional career. Showed his athleticism there, did a nice job. The Yankees are very confident confident in his defensive ability at third base. As far as the pitching is concerned, Fernando Cruz is back on the roster. He'll be added to the pen. Devin Williams is going to get the majority of the opportunities as the closer, but if Williams is down, Aaron Boone might need to turn to somebody else in that bullpen, and Fernando Cruz perhaps could be an option. I caught up with him earlier for the BP show to ask him about being back.
Oh my God, I feel so pumped up. I feel like it's my first day in baseball. I feel amazing, ready to boost the bullpen up and pick up. Obviously, we heard about Luke. I mean, pick him up and everything that we can, and I'm excited.
What told you were ready? The arm wasn't an issue.
Just the live BP in LA. The bullpen first. Didn't feel any pain afterward or the day after. I recovered really well. I think our medical staff did an amazing job in terms of recovering and taking care of me. It just felt right.
And when Cruz is right, his splitter is ridiculous. He's made a lot of major league hitters look silly so far this season already. On that pitch in particular, he's getting guys to strike out over 50% of the time. A big weapon for him when he is on the mound. He'll be available. He told me he'll probably change up his routine and how he gets ready a little bit, not throwing as much to try to make sure that shoulder issue doesn't pop up the rest of the season. One more note, guys, before I send it back to you. I know this will come as a huge shock, but Aaron Judge, well, he's pretty good at baseball, and once again, he has been named the American League Player of the Month. We saw what he did against the Dodgers, 3 home runs over the course of 2 days. Here's a look at what he did in 26 games in May, 364 average, 11 home runs. He drove in 18, and take a look at that OPS, just absolutely absurd. He is the 11th Player of the Month award for Aaron Judge. That's the second in Major League Baseball history. The only one who has had more has been Barry Bonds. Guys, he's been fun to watch this year, but really you could say that any year when it comes to Aaron Judge. It's almost like you expect that he is going to do something special when he steps into the batter's box, and oftentimes he does. Most times he does, Bob.
Yeah, no doubt. He makes it look easy when it is not easy. We know that. Meredith, thank you. Have a great night. We'll see you in just a bit with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill. So, Todd, you mentioned this at the top of the show. Meredith had an update on Luke Weaver. Suddenly they're going to be missing him for at least a couple weeks, and now it's that next man up philosophy in the pen.
Well, the biggest thing is getting back from this injury, and I think the possibility of him getting back in a couple weeks is hard to say. I've had a hamstring injury. They're very hard, and then the biggest obstacle is after rehab is done, being able to concentrate on pushing off that leg and being able to throw a fastball and whatever else he throws in his contraption and making sure his legs are good. It's going to be a while. I don't care what kind of hamstring injury you have, and it is. Next guy up. Who's going to step up? Fernando Cruz, your time. Come back in. Devin Williams, second go-around. What do you got next for us? And that's the mentality that you got to have, especially in New York.
We'll talk more about Williams coming up. Want to remind you that all season long here on Yes, we invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Well, after missing all of May, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is ready to take a bite out of June. Coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll break down what his return means for DJ LeMahieu and the rest of the infield. That's next on the Gotham Sports app. And yes.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. The Bombers are back from the West Coast, and they're ready to rock on a homestand that begins with Cleveland. For a same-game parlay, let's pick Aaron Judge to hit a dinger, Cody Bellinger to record at least 3 total bases, and Big Los to strike out 6 or more. That parlay comes in at plus 873. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel.
Let's continue on the pregame of the Yankees starting lineup for Game 1 against the Guardians tonight, brought to you by Toyota. DJ LeMahieu, 4 hits on Sunday at the Dodgers. The first 4-hit game in nearly 4 years. Rice and Volpe have homered off tonight's starter Tanner Bybee. And again, LeMahieu, great numbers. Judge coming off a great road trip, hitting .391 going into this one. But let's talk a little bit about Jazz Chisholm Jr. in that 6th spot and what he can bring back into this lineup.
Well, we'll talk about the offense in a second. It's a spark. This guy brings energy, he brings emotion to the team, and he's the guy that you always want on your team. He's going to be the dude that kind of clicks a little bit, gets them going in his homestead. We know the average isn't there, but he's been hitting for power. 10 of his 19 hits have been extra base hits. And his defense. He's a well-known defender. He could play second, but now we know he's going to play third base, and we can discuss that all day. It's going to be a battle a little bit, but I think he understands where he needs to be, and he's a team guy. He could play anywhere.
He is a team guy. He played third base last year, but you do wonder, he felt so comfortable starting the season at second. Does he take that to his at-bats, or is he the kind of guy that could just, you wipe that away and you don't worry about where you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, at first you're kind of deciding, like, hey, am I a second baseman or a third baseman? But coming off this rehab stint and understanding that he is that team guy, he doesn't care. He's going to go play third base, and he's going to go out there and be really good at it. He's going to work at it. And I think we talked about this a little earlier, his footwork. He's got better footwork right now than DJ LeMahieu. That's old age and nature and coming through. So for him, keep working hard and watch how many times he gets this ball. Going to his left and right, I think he is a little better than DJ right now. And the biggest thing is coming forward for that little ground ball there that you have to move your feet. And with a calf injury with DJ, I think it might be just that, a little bit harder for him to work on that.
Maybe the arm, too, that we saw, a little stronger arm, probably throwing third to first. In the meantime, let's talk about some other hitters in this lineup that have been productive. We mentioned LeMahieu, also his 2 runs batted in Sunday. First time he's done that since August of 2024. Cody Bellinger, a .302 hitter since May 1st. Paul Goldschmidt, great with runners in scoring position. His 22 hits, tied for most in the American League. And, of course, Meredith mentioned Aaron Judge, the player of the month. And I thought those guys, as it pertained to Sunday's game, that's the way Yankees win games, right? 4 different players knocked in runs, 6 different Yankees scored. So up and down that lineup, everybody getting involved.
As a whole, let's talk about a stat. And I'm not the biggest stat guy. I know that's Big Jack Curry's job. But for me, the OPS plus, that's on-base percentage plus slugging percentage in a league average, this team has been unbelievable, especially during this time. If you look back last year, the numbers are a lot lower. Let me give you an example. Aaron Judge. Well, first off, the league average is 100. Aaron Judge is hitting at a historic rate of OPS plus 249. That's just one example. Goldschmidt, his is higher. You name these guys up and down the lineup, it's been absolutely fantastic. And if they keep this up, no telling what they can do. It's been a really good time watching them. It's been fun to watch them hit, and there's only good things can come from this.
Did you just embrace stats and analytics? Just big warm fuzzy hug?
I'm here now.
Let's take a look at the Guardians lineup that will go up tonight against Carlos Rodon. It is brought to you by Toyota as well. And Stephen Kwan leading off, his .313 average, 70 hits, 2.6 WAR, and 8.9% strikeout percentage. All top 8 in the American League this season. Carlos Santana has an 11-game hitting streak. He's a .357 hitter in his career against Rodon. And Jose Ramirez, we'll talk a little about him coming up. 4 doubles, a triple, and 5 runs batted in against Rodon. He has reached base safely in 28 straight games. It's going to be up to Rodon to shut down those Guardians. And coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we're going to break down what's been behind the Southpaw's recent stretch of dominance. So stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate every journey. Visit your tri-state Cadillac dealer. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Asalka with your game day forecast. The Yankees are right at home here in the Bronx. You'll notice some haze at first pitch. Temperatures will also feel mild in the low 70s, and you have a calm breeze through the 7th inning as temperatures start to cool down into the upper 60s. By the end of the game, all you need is a sweater or maybe a light jacket. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 The Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Hope. So Carlos Rodon going to toe the slab in really good weather conditions, pitching well at home and pitching well this season and last. And I imagine, Todd, if you were going up against him, you would have said when he was a 2-pitch pitcher, that's all I got to worry about, 2 pitches. Well, now it's 4. It's a lot more challenging.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one is that changeup. He's been getting guys at a really good rate on throwing that changeup, and especially he doesn't have to throw it in the zone. It looks like a slider, actually conviction like a fastball. It's a really big pitch for him, and he needed that definitely compared to last year.
All right, let's take a look at his arsenal courtesy of StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. And as we know, it was fastball, slider in the past, but now he has added that change. He has added that cutter and the sinker, and everything has been working perfectly. Now, let's talk about the guy who could be closing, and that would be Devin Williams, as we take a look at his season splits. And we remember what happened in the first 10 when he lost the closer's job. Opponents batting .343 against him. He was walking a lot of hitters. Well, Todd, over his last 15, a .329 ERA, a .156 batting average against. He's figured it out, and it was kind of his MO in Milwaukee. We've talked about this rough first month, but then he kind of smoothed things out.
Yeah, and I think a little bit had to playing in New York. I think it's a tough place. There's some guys that can do it and can't. He's getting a second chance here, what people don't understand. How many times do you get a second chance in the Bronx? It's really hard to do, and this second chance can't come any quicker. Luke Williams is hurt, or Weaver is hurt, excuse me, and the bottom line is he has to come in here and do his job. Throw that change up and have fun playing the game. I know it's New York, but keep working on what you can.
And harness that fastball. All right, one final break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame still to come. We'll get Todd's key to the game as we move closer to first pitch between the Yanks and the Guardians. Keep it here on Yes in the Gotham Sports app. And give me a C, a bouncy C.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I've been in ballparks for 17 years and have never received anything but kindness and encouragement from you fans.
When you look around, wouldn't you consider it a privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking men as they're standing in the uniform this ballpark today? Sure, I'm lucky.
Who wouldn't have considered it an honor to have known Jacob Rupert, also the builder of baseball's greatest empire, Ed Barrow?
To have spent 6 years with that wonderful little fellow, Miller Huggins. Then to have spent the next 9 years with that outstanding leader, that smart student of psychology, the best manager in baseball today, Joe McCarthy. Sure, I'm lucky.
When the New York Giants, a team you would give your right arm to beat, and vice versa, sends you a gift, that's something.
When everybody down to the groundskeepers and those boys in the white coats remember you with trophies, that's something.
When you have a wonderful mother-in-law who takes sides with you and squabbles with her own daughter, that's something.
When you have a father and a mother who work all their lives so you can have an education and build your body, it's a blessing.
So I close in saying that I might have been given a bad break.
But I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
Well, yesterday marked 100 years since that luckiest man became the Yankees starting first baseman. And Lou Gehrig Day celebrations continue tonight. Once again, the Yankees have partnered with the ALS Association of Greater New York to help the fight against this disease. And tonight they were joined by representatives from I Am ALS, her ALS story, and ALS United Greater New York, as well as Major League Baseball's Sarah Langs. It's a great celebration. It's a great way to raise awareness about Lou Gehrig's disease and for the players, what does it mean?
It means everything. I mean, to talk about, first off, a great in Lou Gehrig and what he did for the Yankees organization and what he had to go through. It's a tough disease, and, you know, it hurts and impacts a lot of people. What the Yankees have done for this has been incredible, and what Major League Baseball has done to set aside a game and everything else to be talked about. Kudos to everybody.
Yeah, and we're about to get you out to the stadium here in just a minute for game 1 of this 3-game series. Let's get your key to the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is one player, Jose Ramirez. This guy has been a Yankee killer. He's been dominant every time he plays against them. He's batting .390 against this team over his past couple games. He has been really good. You stop him, you got a really good chance of winning this game.
Yeah, Ramirez is tough. Do you feel like you've almost won part of the game when you get him out or strike him out or get him to ground out?
100%.
Yeah.
Your smile on your face, high five, and let's go to the next inning.
You take those small wins, and then you let it lead to a win. That's going to do it for us. We thank you for joining us after a break. It's Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill with a call. Meredith Marakovich reporting. Todd and I will see you on the postgame. Have a great night and enjoy it. Carlos Rodon on the hill for the Yanks. Next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
Major League Baseball, yesterday was Lou Gehrig Day. Yankees are off, so they honor their former captain today and also highlight the battle against ALS. And now it is time for baseball, as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Guardians in the first of 3 from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. So 3 games against the Guardians. It's a little bit of a different Yankee team. Some storylines going into this game. We'll take a look at the team scouting report brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Jazz Chisholm is back, activated from the 10-day IL. Has not played since April 29th. So is Fernando Cruz. He's back. Jason Dominguez not going on the IL. They see some improvement in the thumb contusion. Luke Weaver, unfortunately, is with a left hamstring strain. 15-day IL for him. He could be out maybe over a month. But one thing that we do know, Jazz Chisholm is back, and the Yankees are getting back a dynamic athlete, a dynamic performer.
Well, when he came over from Miami last year, he added a lot of excitement to the Yankees. I don't know if they realized what he could do. They moved him to third base, check the box. Great defensively. He can steal bases, 40 stolen bases on the year last year. And you know what? You forgot. He's got the belt, too. 7 home runs in April so far until he came down with the side pull. So Jazz Chisholm back in the lineup. Good thing to see for the Yankees.
Now, there's some room there to improve because the first 30 games this year hit just 181. Did have 7 home runs, OPS of 714, and he has 6 stolen bases. He's playing third tonight. LeMahieu stays at second, so playing third for the first time this season. On the mound for the Yankees, Carlos Rodon. He has emerged as one of the best pitchers in baseball this season with a 2.60 ERA. Pitching coach Matt Blake talks about it with Meredith next on Yes.
Welcome back to the Bronx for Yankees baseball on Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Meredith Marakovich alongside Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake. Matt, you'll send Carlos Rodon to the mound today. He's really on a nice streak, 14 consecutive scoreless innings for him. What stands out to you about his stuff over that span?
I think he's just really strong execution across the board. Fastball command's been really good. Obviously faces a lot of righties, so he's done a nice job mixing his arsenal, using the changeup a lot, being able to land the breaking balls and then put guys away with a multitude of, secondary offerings. But really just a high-level execution all around.
Talk about the secondary offerings. When he came here, he was basically fastball slider, and he has added to that repertoire. How much has that helped him?
I mean, it's been huge. When he first got here, it's kind of like the league knew he was a high fastball and then chase slider and just started to be able to eliminate certain things things he was doing. And I think just as the league evolved, he knew he had to continue to do it. And, adding the changeup, being able to do some different things with the fastball, move it around a little bit more, and then still have the go-to slider. So it's been a nice evolution for him.
What's the biggest key for him against the Guardians tonight?
I think, stay within himself. Obviously, we know these guys pretty well. We faced them quite a bit. It's a team that typically tries to get after the fastball a lot, so be able to move the ball around and, get to his secondary just like he has been.
We've talked a little bit, too, about his mindset and how he's worked on that aspect of things.
Yeah, it's just, ongoing with him and just, being on the edge of, that adrenaline rush that he likes to pitch with and not let himself go over the line. I think the execution is high when he stays right there, and then when he kind of red lines it, then you start to overthrow a little bit and kind of get outside yourself. So always kind of, pushing it, but not going over the line.
Matt, I know you still have some pregame prep to do, so I'll let you go, but thanks for the time.
Absolutely.
Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Carlos Rodon gets the ball right here on Yes.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Shot of Lou Gehrig Day. That's considered one of the most famous speeches in American history. The speech that Lou Gehrig gave on the field when he knew that he didn't have much time left. Yankees take the field here to begin a 3-game set against the Guardians. Let's take a look at the Guardians starting lineup. Stephen Kwan's in left, Angel Martinez in center, and Jose Ramirez at third. Cleaning up off the IL is the DH David Fry, Carlos Santana at first, Gabriel Arias, the shortstop, bat sixth. Batting seventh, second baseman Will Wilson, Bo Nerla will catch, and John Kenzie Noel is the right fielder. He'll bat ninth. Tanner Bybee is going to start against the Yankees with a 1-0 career record against the Bombers. One thing about the Guardians, we'll tell you about this as we go on, they don't hit very well. And it's going to be an interesting matchup against that guy, Carlos Rodon. 13 starts, 7-3, 2.60 ERA. All the numbers are good. So let's check out the Nissan Pitcher scouting report.
The numbers are great. And he's coming in hot, Michael. He's been amazing. Last 8 starts, 6-0 with a 1.27 ERA. Little MC Hammer for you, Michael. Can't touch this.
Wow.
He leads the major league batting average against. Hitters are only hitting 164 against Rodon, and so close. Michael, you probably remember this. Back in April 2021, 2 outs away from a perfect game against the Guardians when he hit Roberto Perez on the back foot. But he still got the last 2 outs and got the no-hitter.
Let's take a look at the defense behind him, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Bellinger's in left, Grisham in center, then Aaron Judge over and right. In the infield, Jazz Chisholm. He had a +8 outs above average last year, 4th in the American League. Volpe at short, LeMahieu at second, Goldschmidt's at first, a star behind the plate, catching Carlos Rodon. So the Guardians are 32-36, and the Yankees are 36-22. Yankees 6-3, just completing their 3-city road trip out west. Kwan is ready. Rodon is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch outside, and we are underway. Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire. Crew chief Ron Culpa at first. Corey Blazer at second. And Alex Tosi is over at third. Two-0.
There's certain guys around the league, Michael, that you just enjoy watching. And Kwan is one of those guys to me. He just does everything right. He's won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves. Doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play. Just a tremendous leadoff hitter for the Guardians.
Rodon took 3 tries at the outside corner. Finally nipped it there in the count 2-1. 2-2.
Boy, that big slider, and he's had that slider pretty much all year, and now he's moved the changeup going away. He'll throw the sinker. He's a total package pitcher now.
The 2-2. 3-2 on Kwan. Indians play up. They're 19-15 against teams 500 or better, and overall they're 4 games under 500. The only teams with better records against teams above 500, Detroit, who leads them in the Central, St. Louis, surprising, the Yankees, and then the Mets. So the Guardians are 5th.
Let me turn you up, Mike, one of my ears a little bit in my box.
You need to hear me more?
I haven't heard you in a while. It sounds pretty good.
Beautiful night here in the Bronx. Soft ground ball. Goldschmidt off the mound late is Rodon, but he gets there to get the out. Rodon was late breaking, but made the play. It's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, it's another rematch, a World Series rematch over the weekend in Los Angeles. Now last year's ALCS rematch against the Guardians. And good to be back. You talked about it, Michael. A long road trip out on the West Coast. They were 6-3 out there. Had a good, pretty good West Coast trip. But it's a big homestand here with Boston and Cleveland, and it's going to happen. You're talking about the injuries. Luke Weaver going on with a bad hamstring out. But, you got Jazz Chisholm back, Fernando Cruz back on the roster. So a couple new faces and one you didn't want to see go in Luke Weaver.
Well, we have a batter's timing violation. And the Guardians dugout doesn't like it. Stephen Vogt arguing with Gonzalez, but Rodon gets himself a nice free strike.
Does that count on your pitch count?
You know what? I don't think so, but... Base hit. So Martinez essentially says, here's your pitch violation. And he picks up a single with one out.
Martinez, big turn around the base at first base. So the changeup there. But the changeup stayed up in the strike zone. This is a hammer to left field. See that front half kind of going out, but hand stayed back. And, as a hitter, when you keep your hands back, you can really still do some damage on the off-speed pitches.
Ramirez takes a ball. Ramirez is just a great player. Most baseball fans know about him. I'd say the casual might not know how great he really is. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't think that's hyperbole. And he's always done well against the Yankees. A .329 lifetime hitter in 64 games against the Yankees.
Yeah, throughout the course of this game, we'll just throw some numbers up. I mean, he is one of the elite players in all of baseball. 5-time Silver Slugger, 6-time All-Star. Top 5 in the MVP voting 5 times in his career. This guy named Aaron Judge keeps getting in the way. You know that?
Yeah.
Well, he has been a great switch hitter. And you look at these stats. But this year, his splits, amazing against left-handed pitchers, hitting .417, .301 against righties.
And he's one of the guys who took a lot less money to stay where he wanted to stay. You always hear, well, what can this amount of money buy you that can't? Well, he was literal about it. He said, I'll take a lot less to stay here. Very comfortable in Cleveland. That one is looped into center field. Coming on is Grisham. He's going to play it on a hop. Good read by Martinez as he hits the third. He knew that was going to fall all the way. So first and third for the Guardians, one man out.
Yeah, that's not an easy play. I mean, off the end of the bat, it's got a chance. But, Martinez saw this off the end of the bat, and it just kind of blooped in there right off the bat. Easily. No hesitation. Cruising into third base.
Now to bring up David Fry for the first time this year. First start of the season. Missed the first 2 months recovering from off-season surgery to repair a ligament in his right elbow. He came back on Sunday as a pinch hitter in a win over the Angels. Got a standing ovation in Cleveland. And then he barely missed a home run that was just foul, then struck out.
Remember the walk-off, the one game that they did win against the Yankees, Fry had the walk-off home run. He became kind of a cult hero in Cleveland.
He said something funny after the strikeout. He said it was the coolest strikeout of my career.
Well, at least you see some good things out of it, huh?
Let's see what we have with Manny Gonzalez. 16th big league season, considered hitter-friendly. Fewer inside strikes, fewer high strikes. 0-2 on Fry.
You know what I did notice about Gonzalez is they were putting out the lineup cards. And, you know, the coaches and managers, they all walk out there. And the batter's box is absolutely perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Gonzalez just wiped the whole back line off, tore off. The guy did a beautiful job of lining the field. The batter's box obviously still there, but the umpire box no longer there.
Runner goes, throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez, that's his 15th on the year. I mean, this is part of his game. He runs bases, he hits for power, he catches the ball, pretty much does everything. Let's see if the replay is necessary. Yeah, it might be.
Well, LeMahieu pointed right to the dugout to say, check it out. I don't know if the Yankees are going to challenge. Doesn't look like they will. I guess it's too close. They don't want to waste a challenge in the first inning.
Let's take another look. It was extremely close. I think he's out. But you really can't see the thumb. You see the hand, but you don't know exactly when the thumb hit.
2-2 on Fry. Yankees play the infield back, except at first. Martinez at third, Ramirez at second.
Oh, he's looking for that back slide, that slider on the back foot. Try to get this strikeout.
Swing and a miss. Got him. Fastball.
Yeah, he went to the fastball outside the strike zone. And again, this was a good matchup because Fry has not been playing. A little rusty, and he went with the four-seam fastball up in the strike zone. Got it by him for a huge strikeout.
And now here's the veteran Carlos Santana. Has an 11-game hitting streak. 39 years old, 16-year veteran.
Yeah, this is kind of a dangerous at bat. If you're Rodon, you don't want to give in. This guy's a veteran hitter, knows how to hit, has been hot lately. You get Arias, who's really been struggling lately, on deck, so you really just can't give in.
1-1.
Might be the shortest baseball pants I've ever seen.
They look like culottes.
like my golf shorts.
Above the knee. 1-1. 1-2. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 74 degrees. No chance of rain. Humidity 34%. The wind blowing out to the left.
Pretty much a 10, right?
It's a beautiful day.
This isn't the same spot we called all those games in April, is it?
No. Saturday was cold.
Yeah.
Big lead by Martinez at third. Strike three. Martinez will stay at third. Santana down looking. The Guardians strand two, and the Yankees coming back. Well, Carlos Rodon works into and out of trouble in the first inning. Now it's the Yankees' turn against Tanner Bivey. Trent Grisham leads off. Ben Rice, the DH, bats second. Aaron Judge and Wright will hit third. Middle third of the order, Bellinger, Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is back. Shortstop Anthony Volpe, he bats seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher J.C. Escara and DJ LeMahieu. Second baseman will bat ninth. And they face Bivey, who is 4-5 with a 3.86. This will be his 12th start. 50 strikeouts in 63 innings, 21 walks, 12 home runs. Let's check out the Nissan Pitcher Scatter Report.
Well, good or bad, he's had 5 starts with 1 or less runs, but then he's had 5 starts with 4 or more. So he's been a little inconsistent, and let's play here. He's been much better at home than he's been on the road. 2.43 ERA at home, 5.13 on the road. And see you, Michael. Get ready. He's had trouble with the home runs. He's given up 12 so far, which is 4th worst in the American League. 9 of those have been on the road.
Grisham takes inside. 1-0.
You locked and loaded?
I think so.
Yeah, ready to go?
You?
With the see ya?
You've been shut down for about a week and a half.
Is that how long it was?
9 games.
Seemed like yesterday, Mike.
Yeah. I thought about you on the West Coast. I said, Paul should be here with me.
That was last year.
That was last year.
I'm on the every other year to the West Coast.
The 1-1. Bunted foul behind the plate. And the defense for the Guardians, it's a good defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealer. See the outfield, Quan Martinez and Noel? 18 outfield assists by the Guardians. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Infield, Ramirez, Arias, Wilson, and Santana, third to first. Bo Naylor behind the plate. Bibby's on the mound. Bobby made 31 starts last year, 3.47 ERA. Stepped up in the absence of Shane Bieber, who is expected back maybe around the All-Star game for the Guardians.
Some organizations just seem to find pitching, and that's what has kept Cleveland year in and year out in the playoffs. They've made the playoffs 6 times out of the last 9 years. Obviously, there's a team in front of them they can't get by in the playoffs, that being the Yankees, who they lost to in 17, 20, 22, and 24. But somehow, some way, they just continually come up with good young pitching.
They've got a little bit of a roadblock this year because the team sitting atop the Central, the Tigers, has the best record in baseball, and they don't seem as if they're going anywhere. They've got great pitching. They play the game hard. They run the bases well. It's going to be tough to catch them.
Yeah, you know, if you look back, Michael, at the history of baseball, do you ever remember a team that, I mean, what, they lost 112 the year before? Then last year they were having a mediocre year, and then all of a sudden just hit fire in midseason. Now, statistically, the best team in baseball.
Not only did they catch fireball, but they traded away their players. I mean, they traded away Flaherty to the Dodgers, and they still made the playoffs. So that's the Central right now. Guardians 5 back in the loss column, 6.5 games behind. Twins and the Royals, those are good teams. Those are 4 good teams. And somebody's going to be left out. Maybe 2 teams will be left out.
Well, you think that Kansas City will make a run at some point, and then Minnesota has had a couple long streaks, winning streaks. So, you know, when you're in that division, you can do a lot of damage of playing within your division, and that's what it's going to take.
Ben Rice hit a monster home run off Yamamoto on Sunday. Dead center field at Dodger Stadium. You know, the Yankees lost Friday and Saturday, and then it didn't seem like Sunday they had the pitching advantage. Ryan Yarbrough against Yamamoto had been pitching to an under 2 ERA, but the Yankees won that game, so it's hard to figure baseball. Yarbrough, another big start for them.
Yeah, and it's so fun to watch him pitch. I mean, what, 85, 84, but you see swing and misses. You see guys hitting him hard. Question, Michael, so when he went deep and you're sitting at home because we didn't have the game, you kicked the table? Because you didn't get to call it.
No, but Charlie said see ya.
Oh, Charlie did to you. Yeah. Nice. Charlie.
3-1 on Ben Rice. Rice is 6th in the American League in slugging at .535. He's hit some big home runs for the Yankees. 12 homers and 25 ribbies. Bibby kicks and deals. Count 3-2. Strike 3. Rice thought it was ball 4, but he's down looking. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts.
Good located fastball, 97. And if you're the manager, you know, you try to save your players. You know, who doesn't know where this pitch is? Obviously high enough. Looks like it got the plate. Pretty tough pitch.
Here's Aaron Judge, 5 for 13 in the series against the Dodgers. Couple of home runs. Pretty thrilling first game. He hits a home run in the first inning. Ohtani hits one in the bottom of the first.
I was just going to say, is that made for TV or what? The big monumental series, the Yankees and the Dodgers. Judge 1-0. Well, 1-1. Ohtani.
Well, Judge beat up on the Guardians when they met them in Cleveland earlier. 7 hits and 12 at-bats with a .583 batting average. Judge was the only Yankee starter that didn't have a hit on Sunday, and that was the game the Yankees won. But he did have the good series, as we mentioned, 5 for 13. Still hitting .391. Grounded foul.
Bobby has a really good changeup, and he really has not even had to use it here in the first inning. He's shown a good fastball, some breaking balls. I guarantee if he gets through this lineup one time without really using that changeup, the second and third time, you're going to see a lot of it.
Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Bybee as the Yankees go down in order. We're going to the second. 0-0 here on Yes. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. How about Jazz Chisholm? His first game back is going to record a hit. Anthony Volpe get a ribby. Carlos Rodon to get 7 more strikeouts. He's 2 in already.
Yeah, I see Chisholm getting a hit. I see Rodon. Volpe, we got to see what opportunities he has, huh?
Arias swings and misses. Arias is taking over at shortstop. When the Yankees played the Guardians earlier, Brian Rocchio was a shortstop. Didn't hit much. Made some errors in the field, and they sent him down to the minors.
At that point, Arias was playing a lot of the infield positions, and now he's pretty much just taken over shortstop. Michael, that sounded hard. I don't know how.
It did. I looked up. It was 93. It sounded harder than 93. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts in a row for Rodon. Let's check out Coors Light beating the pressure. Lowest ERA since April 18th. Carlos Rodon, the 3rd lowest at 1.27. Nathan Eovaldi, 1.01. Chris Bubich of the Royals, 1.23. Andrew Abbott, 1.48. And Chris Sale, 1.66. Found the fountain of youth in Atlanta. Wow. Rodon's working on 6 days rest. He went over 100 pitches in each of his last 2 starts, so they took advantage of the off day. He could have started on Sunday. They decided to go with the Yarborough in the normal spot, and now Rodon gets an extra day rest, a couple of days extra. Last 8 games started by Rodon, 6-0, 1.27 ERA, and opponents hitting 158 against him. 158.
Yeah, he has got confidence now in all his pitches where, you know, he still has a good fastball, the great slider. To be able to mix in the changeup and the sinker and the curveball, I mean, he just does everything now as a total package pitcher.
All right, let's take a look at the arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. And this is the last 8 starts, what he's thrown.
See where he throws that 4-seamer, Michael? The high pitch, everything else is down low, huh? Does our graphics take that into consideration?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I just thought they were throwing darts up there, you know, and just this is where this one goes.
Bo Naylor jumps on the first pitch and skies it to center field. Drifting over. Grisham. And the Guardians go down in order 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Hey, suit up the season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com for your Yankees gear and today's special offer.
About time you switch over the merchandise. Last time they were selling fur coats in there. I saw a couple golf shirts in there.
Absolutely. Some sleeveless tees. Yeah. There's Cody Bellinger to start off the second inning. First 3 Yankees struck out against Bybee. Foul back. So Bellinger in his last 5 games, 1 for 15, but he has had 3 walks and just 1 strikeouts. It's amazing how frustrating this game must be to hitters, because you could have a 14-game hitting streak where everything you hit is on the screws, and then all of a sudden, boom, 1 for 15.
And you don't know where it starts. It starts mechanically, or it just starts, you kind of lose focus and think, I've got this game. And as soon as you think you got this game, it really bites you. And it can be cruel at times.
It's one of the reasons, Paul, we don't have to sit here and sell Aaron Judge. His numbers sell themselves. But, it's June 30, sitting 391.
Yeah. It doesn't, anytime you bring up Aaron Judge and you tell me a stat, it doesn't even surprise me anymore. That was pretty cool how well received Cody Bellinger was out in L.A. over the weekend. Obviously an MVP player for them in 2019. It's always got to be hard to go back and play, in other places that you've played.
I guess if you did well, it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
But he had some bad years for them, too. The 2-2 chopped over the mound. Arias Fields. 1 away here in the bottom of the second.
If you look at the numbers, Michael, you were talking about the offensive numbers, and if you look at the pitching numbers and the defensive numbers, nothing Cleveland does stands out numbers-wise. But they figure out ways to stay in games, win games. I still think the culture is here from when Francona was here. And it just, you learn how to win in certain ways, because if you break down all their numbers, they don't compare to the top teams.
Well, their offense, or lack thereof, would dictate they should be more than 4 games under 500. But their starting pitching has been okay, and their bullpen is still strong. Not as strong as last year, but strong enough that they win games that are close. Goldschmidt was 2 for 14 against the Dodgers. Hitting .333, but he has 38 runs scored, which is tied for 3rd in the American League.
It's really been fun to watch, Michael. You can just tell how savvy he is as a veteran. His hitting, obviously, but the way he runs the bases, the way he cheats and steals bases, just an all-around pro.
And he goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Bybee. And that's going to bring up Jazz Chisholm Jr. Jazz missed 28 games with a right oblique strain. This is his first game since April 29th, so he missed all of May. And now he's back in the lineup of playing third base. He made it easy on the Yankees. Went into Aaron Boone's office and said, "You can play me anywhere. I'm not going to argue about where I play. I just want to ring." So the move to third for them was very easy. Keep LeMahieu at second, where he's been comfortable. And Chisholm certainly proved last year he could play third base.
Yeah, he did great things defensively coming over, because it's not like he didn't play third a lot. He didn't play at all. He was an outfielder, then a second baseman, and there's the quote right there. I'm not here to fight over position, so it's, he wants to play the game of baseball and be part of a winning team.
There have been, indications of players that refuse to do it. Rafael Devers is one of the best hitters you'll ever see. Didn't want to play first base. Now that Bregman's hurt, doesn't want to play third base.
Yeah, I was wondering when I saw Bregman was hurt, will Devers go back to third? And that hasn't happened, right?
Nope, has not happened. High fly ball, center field. And Martinez puts it away, so the Yankees go down in order again against Bybee, and we go to the third. It's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And tonight's picture is of Luca, who celebrated his 6th birthday by repping the Yankees with the rest of his family. You go, Luca. Happy birthday. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride mentioned yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game.
It's the second Luca I've heard of. The other one plays basketball, and he's pretty good. Huh?
I've heard of a third.
You got another?
Lives on the second floor.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Going way back.
Uh-huh.
John Kenzie Noel struggling. He's a power hitter who's put the ball on the ground 50.8% of the time that he puts the ball in play. The major league average is 42.7.
Got a great nickname, though.
Big Christmas?
Big Christmas, huh? Juan Soto look to hook that toe in there, try to keep that front hip in.
And another strikeout for Rodon, his 5th of the game. He's close to that 7 already.
Well, I tell you, if you look at Rodon and just his mannerisms and the way he looks, you can just tell how confident he is. And, you know, he expects to throw strike 3 now instead of expecting anything bad to happen. And what a bounce back from the first year when he got over here, huh?
Hey, congratulations to Carlos Rodon on being voted the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. And why not? That's what he did against the Angels on Tuesday. Didn't walk a batter, 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. Now, we talked about this, Jeff Nelson and I did, when he started on Tuesday in Anaheim. When guys come to New York after signing a big contract and they don't do well right away, sometimes it spells the end where they've got to be traded. It's just not going to work out. And this guy has come so far that he's giving advice to Devin Williams on how to deal with it. He has really adapted. He's become a different pitcher, too, in fairness, Paul. He was a fastball slider guy. Now he has the change and the two-seamer, so there's something low as well. He's a complete pitcher right now.
No doubt about it. And I think I've said it numerous times. I think Andy Pettitte has helped him and taught him how to get big outs, how to use different pitches when you're behind in the count, when you're ahead in the count. And I think a lot of credit goes to that.
So 2 down as Kwan pops up to Volpe. And that brings up Martinez. Single to left in the first inning. Was stranded at third. Guardians at second and third in the first inning with 1 out. But Fry struck out and Santana struck out looking. Yankees essentially play Martinez as straight away as you'll see a batter played these days.
Yeah, he had a high changeup his first time, and I did not want to put it in the scouting report, Michael, but now he's off to a good start. I'll go ahead. I mean, he's at 16 2/3 scoreless innings now. Carlos Rodon came into the game at 14, and I thought, I can't put that in the scouting report. And then he had the trouble in the first inning, but he got out of it, so it's still intact.
But you realize one thing, like, if Martinez hits a home run now, you're going to be blamed.
No.
For the reverse jinx.
He hit a high changeup last time, so I got a good feeling about this hitter. So when we go to break, you could say, as Paul just told you,
right?
It's 15 consecutive innings.
Grounded to third, backhanded by Chisholm. Sets and fires. Oh, what a backhanded scoop by Goldschmidt. A 1-2-3 inning.
How many?
And as Paul told you, it's 17 straight scoreless innings for Rodon after this scoop by Goldschmidt. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. We go to the bottom of the third inning, 0-0. Yankees 6 up, 6 down against Bybee over the first 2 innings. Babe and Lou, and we're celebrating Lou Gehrig's life. A day late. Lou Gehrig Day was yesterday. Yankees were not scheduled. That was coming back from the West Coast. Also a day that we highlight the battle against ALS. Anthony Volpe swings at the first pitch, chops it to first. Santana won a Gold Glove last year. He puts it away, 1 down. Now, the weekend before opening day this year, Bybee signed a 5-year, $48 million extension. That goes through 2029. Also buys out his arbitration years and 1 free agent season. And Bybee, who's 26 years old, said, I'm very comfortable here. I like all the people in the organization and my teammates. And that's what the Guardians have to do. They're not going to have a top 5 payroll in baseball. They've got to lock in their players when they're young and take the chance that they're going to stay good. That's what they did when they were on that run in the 90s.
Yeah, I do remember that. Everybody looked around and thought, you know what, we've never seen an organization like this. You had Baerga and Vizquel and Loft, and they just tied a bunch of Alomar. They tied a bunch of players up where they kept that team together.
Now, when you sign early like that, you're probably leaving money on the table, but you are getting security. If something goes wrong injury-wise, you do have that money for sure, and that's the risk that the team is taking. But if you continue to be a good player, the team is getting you at a bargain. And we told you about, Ramirez. Some people want to stay somewhere, and I've always intended this about you. I think you could have made money elsewhere, but you always signed with the Yankees. You didn't want to go out there as a free agent. You just enjoyed it where you were.
You know what? There's no reason to change when things are going well for a couple extra dollars here and there. I mean, obviously, Major League Baseball players are paid very well. Winning, being comfortable, being where your family wants to be has a lot to do with where you want to play.
3-1 on Escara. Gets the start today, with Austin Wells getting 2 days off with the off day. High fly ball, right center. Martinez is there to make the play. 2 down.
That's very close right there. Bybee just got in enough. He couldn't pull his hands in enough to get this ball out on the barrel of the bat where he would have driven it out of the ballpark, but just missed right there from Escara.
Here is DJ LeMahieu, the 4 hits against the Dodgers on Sunday. First time he's done that since June 26th of 2021. That was in Boston. And that 4-hit game hiked his average from 171 to 239.
Hey, you're just kind of holding your breath. It's so good to see DJ LeMahieu back in the lineup. I just hope that he can be, resemble something of what he was, because injuries have beat him up the past couple of years. But, when he's healthy, he can hit, he can field, he can help this team.
Hit sharply, but grabbed there on the glove side by Santana. Another 1-2-3 inning for Bybee. A perfect 3 innings for the Guardians right-hander. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel. By Untuck It, find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And by Hyundai, test drive new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer.
Wow, they put me against Manny Ramirez. That boy can hit a little bit. You know that?
You could too.
He wants to get back in the game now, I see, and be like a hitting coach.
Popped up. Escara, boy, that was up there. He puts it away for the first out. Well, I've heard stories about Manny that he set pitchers up like two at-bats away. Like he'd swing and miss bat on a slider and then be waiting for that later.
I never saw anybody look slider on 2 strikes. He was still quick enough to be able to foul off a fastball, but he would just look slider, and time again, righties would throw that slider, and he'd line it over my head in right field. He was a much smarter hitter than most people gave him credit for.
Well, the resume screams Hall of Fame, but obviously the PED suspension probably keeping him out. 2-time world champion with the Red Sox, 12-time All-Star, 29 career postseason home runs.
that the one play that really got him was when didn't he cut a ball off in the outfield from an outfielder? Yep. I'll never forget that. I'm watching this, scratching my head, thinking, I've never thought as an outfielder to cut a throw off from another outfielder, but he did it.
Ramirez's first career hit was a double over your head in left field, and he thought it was a home run.
Probably been a triple, but yeah, he was manning it the first. I mean, you could just tell from the first time you saw him hit. You know, he was a great hitter, and if you look back here, yeah, he was a thin Manny there, but he could still hit. Oh, Melito. I should have caught that.
Come on, you got to be there. He's trying. It bounced into the seats, but he thought it.
Look at Baerga. Go back, Manny. Don't get so happy. You know, he was, had half of the left field bleachers with Washington Heights fans. He would bring his whole crew here.
Yeah. And he went to George Washington High School in Washington Heights. One on Santana. 6 strikeouts for Rodon. 2 outs into the 4th. That one's lined into center field. Grisham is there. And the Guardians go down in order as Rodon has retired 11 in a row. Well, fans, the Gotham Sports app is your home for streaming live Yankee games and so much more, and it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees looking for their first base runner against Bybee. So it'll be the top of the order. Grisham, Rice, and Judge. They all struck out in the 1st inning. 0-0, bottom of the 4th. And a strike. Bybee faced the Yankees twice in the ALCS. He was knocked out in the 2nd inning of Game 2. Gave up 3 runs, then much better in Game 5. 5 2/3 innings of 2-run ball. But the Yankees ended up winning the clincher to go to the World Series. That was in extra innings.
Goes to show you, Michael, you look back at that and it seems so long ago, and that's why when you get to the series and you don't win it, you got to go through this whole process again, the off season, the work, spring training, the season. But it seems like so long ago that they were playing, you know, Cleveland in the ALCS.
That's why I think it's so hard to repeat. Because to repeat, you have to go through that whole thing again and get back to that moment again and then win those 4 games again. It's hard.
Yeah, I think you actually have to be better the 2nd and 3rd times because, you know, you don't sneak up on anybody. Everybody's ready for you. Everybody, you know, the cities get involved of trying to beat the world champions. And I just think that you have to be better every single year. That's why the Yankees were so good at that time, and Mr. Steinbrenner bringing players in to make us a little bit better, just to get us over the hump again.
Do you realize, I'm sure you've thought about this, I mean, we keep talking about the Yankees, the last team to repeat, obviously won 3 in a row. You guys came this close to winning 6 World Series in a row.
It was a fantastic time, obviously.
I don't know if it's going to happen again.
Well, if it doesn't, then it's you and me, Michael. We still have those memories, right?
Yes.
We're talking about, World Series, and Cleveland, their last World Series win was 1948. It's the longest drought in baseball.
Looked like they were going to beat the Cubs, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, they lost that one 3-1. That was 2016, is that right?
Check out the stats with Lowe's on Tanner Bybee. And At home, he pitches much better than on the road. 2.43 to 5.13. Gives up more home runs on the road as well. Has not a lot of hit tonight, though.
Yeah, he's been sharp, and it really has not gotten to a lot of his secondary pitches because his fastball's been so good.
Fly ball right field. Noel will put it away. Now to bring up Ben Rice, we take a look at the optimum don't take slow for an answer replay. His home run against Yamamoto.
Yeah, and I tell you, early in the game, which that was, the ball will carry, and then out there in L.A., it gets cool and the ball doesn't carry, but that ball was hammered.
So here is Rice, who struck out looking in the first inning. Arias. And we talked about, no one in baseball's gone back-to-back since the Yankees. Well, it's been 24 straight seasons without a back-to-back champ. To make it even more amazing, that's the longest stretch any of the 4 major sports leagues have ever had without one.
A lot of parity in sports. By the way, we've got the Panthers trying to go back-to-back now, right? In Stanley Cup.
As Aaron Judge struck out in the first. Interesting column in USA Today by Bob Nightingale. He talked with Judge, and I'd never heard Judge admit this. He said on the road, he hardly ever leaves his hotel room. Yeah. Because when he goes out, he's just recognized because of his height. He said, you give me 6'1", 6'2", I could get away with it. Yeah. He said the last time he went out, when they were on the road, they were in Seattle, he went to a Starbucks. Which you could walk into by accident in Seattle. Right. And he said people just mobbed him. At first they think he's a basketball player, and then they realize who he is.
Yeah, you can't hide, 6'8", 290? You just can't hide it. You can wear a costume and look like Sasquatch, right?
6'7".
You get a lot of attention there, too.
The 2-1. Cooking up something special with HexCloud. Join the hybrid revolution at hexcloud.com. So against the Guardians, 583, 3 extra base hits, 643 on base percentage, slugging at .917. Yankees looking for their first base runner. And they have their first base runner as Judge works a walk.
As Aaron Judge goes down to first base, I just got a text, and this is an interesting thing because Aaron Judge is part of the tall order, the sock company. You've heard about this, right? Well, that's what Santana has on. He's got the high socks from Aaron Judge's company. So that's why his pants look so short.
No, you can still have the high socks and pull the pants down.
Well, you know what? You're sporting Aaron Judge's socks. You want to show them all. So they're the same socks. You just see where they come on Aaron Judge or where they come on Santana.
Popped up. Naylor tosses away the mask, puts it away, and the Yankees still without a hit over the first 4, but they leave one on. We go to the 5th. The Yankees' 6 strikeouts are brought to you by Audi in the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, if you break it down how he's done it, out of those 6 strikeouts, 2 changeups, 2 sliders, and 2 fastballs. And that just goes to show you what type of pitcher he's becoming.
Spreading the wealth. 96 strikeouts on the season. Only Garrett Crochet and Tarek Skubal are ahead of him. Arias takes a strike to start off the 5th inning. Oh, 2. Talking to different people around the Guardians. Whenever a team comes in, you try to get the latest stuff from them. You talk to the players, manager. But the one thing that everyone said, can't hit.
Yeah, that's how the sentence started.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I know you can't hit. Anything else going on?
That's it. Can't hit. Another strikeout, 7 for Rodon.
Again, he's mixing it up, and he's had that four-seam fastball up in the strike zone a couple times for strikeouts, and it's just got good life on it, good hot. And again, you can't emphasize enough when you mix in the slider down and in, the fastball up, and then the changeup and the sinker going away. It just makes it very difficult for a hitter to cover all those pitches.
Will Wilson struck out in the second inning, made his major league debut on April 22nd. 1-1.
This is Escar's third time that he's caught Rodon. He's 2-1 with Rodon behind the plate, and it seems like it's been an easy job so far tonight. They've been on the same page, and Rodon dealing.
And Wilson, in that first big league game, he was 0 for 3 against Rodon, and then got his first big league hit with a single off of Luke Weaver. Played short, second, and third in the minors. There's a ground ball to second. LeMahieu. 2 down. We haven't had a chance because the game is moving so quickly, but, the loss of Weaver is going to hurt. Even if Devin Williams is an effective closer as the Yankees think he's going to be, Weaver's a big, important arm that comes out of that bullpen.
Well, and his numbers, I mean, you can't argue with him. And he's been phenomenal. He took over the closer's role, and it's not like it's going to be a 10-day stint. I mean, it's going to be weeks.
Yeah, they're saying it could be a while. Naylor grounds out to Goldschmidt, flips to Rodon. 14 in a row retired by the Yankee lefty. We're halfway through.
Welcome back. It's time for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Paul, Michael, you were just talking about it. Luke Weaver finds himself on the injured list with a strained left hamstring. He felt it for the first time while warming up in the bullpen against the Dodgers. He was not sure whether or not he was going to say anything. He decided not to pitch through it, and guys, probably a good thing, because it might have been even worse had he tried to go out there and pitch. Expected to miss about 4 to 6 weeks, but in talking to Weaver, he hopes that it is much, much shorter. He joked with Aaron Boone, the IL is 15 days. I'll be back in 15. Aaron Boone said, hey, that's probably not realistic, but he is a little more optimistic that it's not going to be on the longer side. But guys, with Luke Weaver out, Devin Williams is going to get the majority of reps, closing ball games out. Also, Fernando Cruz back today, and you can use a guy like Mark Leiter Jr. We've seen him in that role before, too.
So let's get to the bottom of the 4 to 6 week estimate, Meredith. Is it a really bad hamstring strain?
Aaron Boone would not get into the grade of the strain.
I want the grade. Let's go. I want the grade.
He likely is going to have a PRP injection, which should promote some of that healing. I don't know if you've ever had any of those, Paul. They're not fun.
I had a couple of them in the '96 World Series. They weren't PRP. They were something else. They were supposed to numb. They were no fun going into your hamstring. I'll tell you that right now.
So they want to make sure that is completely healed before he starts going out there and throwing. But Aaron Boone noted that the way they've been handling soft tissue injuries lately, they get him moving pretty early. So it's not like he's going to be shut down for a significant amount of time. They want to make sure his arm keeps going. And that's one thing that Weaver said in the clubhouse. Look, this is terrible that I have to go on the injured list, but at least it's not my arm. It's my hamstring. It'll heal. He'll be back. He'll be a contributor. I just don't know how long that's going to take, Michael.
2-1 count on Goldschmidt. I'm wondering, Paul, I mean, what is the temptation to not tell them if something's wrong in a big spot?
Every once in a while, you'll feel a twinge or something, and it can actually play through it or it goes away. And, obviously this is a little bit more. And you can usually tell a hamstring when it doesn't go away overnight and you start to kind of drag your leg a little bit. It's just like it won't engage because your body won't let it. And it's just part of the everyday part of being a baseball player. Just things get beat up, and sometimes they're true injuries, and sometimes you can fight through.
Now, I don't think the legend of Paul O'Neill needs me to burnish it anymore, but the catch you made against on Polonia to end Game 5 is all the more remarkable. You did it on one leg to end that game.
I got moved. Jose Cardinal moved me. He had a premonition that they were going to hit it out of the right center more, so I'm going to give him all the credit.
Ground ball, third base. Ramirez gets Goldschmidt. Well, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is back at third, and this was a really nice play in the third inning. And it shows he doesn't miss a beat. Again, he was +8 outs above average at third base last year, and he wasn't a third baseman. But he's all about team. That's why he had no problem moving to third. Played 192 games in center, 46 games at short, 196 at second, and now 46 at third. You know, Aaron Boone was talking about it today. He said, I think a middle infielder could play anywhere. He said, you might not be a good third baseman, but because middle infielders have so much responsibility, they can move to third, but they might not be as good as Jazz was. He said, you know, the thought process in many years in baseball, let's just stick somebody at third. He said, it's not that easy, because everybody keeps asking him, have you tried to play Ben Rice at third? And he said no. He keeps saying no.
Well, I tell you what, when you try to stick somebody in a major league position where they're not accustomed, and a lot of it has to do with Jazz Chisholm, he has the ability, he has great arm strength. So he, you know, third base becomes very natural to him because he has the arm strength to make the plays.
And he did say the thing that caught him about Chisholm last year was the internal clock. He knew exactly how fast he had to go on certain runners. He said that's something that you really have to learn. And he got fortunate that that was not called a strike.
He said it was a hitter's umpire, right? Manny behind the plate.
Shallow left field coming on. Kwan is going to dunk in front of him. Yankees first base hit. Kwan is a 3-time Gold Glove winner. And you thought for all intents and purposes he's going to make that play, but it fell between he and Arias for a single.
Yeah, sometimes as an outfielder, Arias went back so far that it kind of messes up. If you're planning on diving or sliding, you kind of just give up. Chisholm, obviously, we talked about his ability to steal bases now, even with this little dunker off the end of the bat. 40 stolen bases last year.
Volpe grounded out to first in the third. On this day in 2019, Anthony Volpe was selected in the first round by the Yankees.
You know, I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to, I was reading the game notes today. Did you read the game notes? They said Josh Gibson hit a ball off the top and they estimated it 700 feet. You don't have me. I'm not on board. A baseball can't go that far.
Well, we never saw Josh play. So.
That's quite a poke. I've seen Aaron Judge go, 550. I don't know that you got another 150 in a baseball.
You know, my buddy Don LaGreca used to do the radio. He used to call nonsense on that. He said, yeah, they really marched 700 feet and it would have landed there. He said there were no lasers then. He said they're just guessing. Some PR person wanted to make it seem longer.
And you know what? If you think about it, that's back when they showed the old video of Bob Feller throwing against a motorcycle flying by him in 100 and the ball beat it. Yeah, that's pretty scientific.
Line to right field, hit hard, but Noel right there for out number 2. Now 2 down, runner at first base, and that'll bring up J.C. Escara. Nice looking kicks.
Wow.
On Jazz.
You know, you need the whole Crayola 64 pack to make those shoes, huh?
Those packs are sweet.
Oh, they had the silver and gold, which the other ones didn't. I thought those were so cool.
And they also had the sharpener.
Yes, they did. Kids have no idea what we're talking about, right?
And you don't know what you're missing.
The crayon. Just think, first day of school, they were brand spanking new. You open that box. Oh.
Paul, you don't even have notebooks anymore. They give you computers.
Oh, I know. It's
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. There's going to be a day up here, Michael, that you don't even keep a scorecard with a pen.
Coney doesn't anymore. He does it on computer.
See? Told you it was going to happen.
But you're way ahead of all of us. You just don't keep scoring. You just remember every at bat.
I hope.
Here's the one thing that gets me, and I don't know how it's going to happen in the future. They don't teach kids to write script anymore. So how are you going to sign your name?
Oh, yeah, you can't print your name.
Right. I mean, you sign a contract, you sign a check. You can't do it.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I do sign my name in script, and if I'm writing, I print.
Yeah.
But you got to sign your name.
No, they don't teach it anymore. Runner was going, and a walk to a scar.
I mean, John Hancock, he put it in script. It's what we're supposed to learn, right?
Yeah, imagine if John Hancock typed it in.
Wouldn't be the same.
It would be a John Hancock building in Boston.
Well, this is what DJ LeMahieu, if you look a couple years back, where he was really excelling as a hitter in runners in scoring position, just getting base hits. You know, he's not going to hit 30, 40 home runs for you, but he get a base hit for you with men in scoring position.
And there's a base hit right there in front of Noel. Here comes Chisholm. Here's the throw. He's in there. It's an RBI single for LeMahieu. And the Yankees break through. They lead 1-0.
Well, this is what I love about the lineup right now is there's some diversity, some guys that just get base hits, and then you've got speed, and you've got speed with Jazz on second base. Even a one-hopper to right field scores a run. Now the Yankees ahead, 1-0. DJ LeMahieu, you know what? The numbers really are starting to show up, but he's swinging the bat much better than he did the past couple of years.
Off the glove of Wilson, it rolls into right field. But stopping at third is Escara. So Grisham with the hard hit ground ball, played it to the backhand side. It went off his glove and rolled into right field. We'll see how they score, but the base is loaded now for Rice.
Yeah, ball hit hard, but did not really ricochet far enough to score. Escara, but see, off the hand. The glove almost fell off his hand there, and it went off the palm of his hand.
And that scored an E4. And that brings up the long-time and long-term pitching coach, Carl Willis. They're going over how they will pitch to Ben Rice. The way Rodon's pitching, Yankees could really take a commanding lead. Leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailer. So 19 or more home runs and 50 or more runs scored through 101 career games. And DiMaggio first, Joe Gordon, Kevin Moss, Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, and now Ben Rice is sixth on that list. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Rice 0 for 2 against Bybee. A bloop single by Chisholm started it. A walk by Escara. A single by LeMahieu scored a run, and an E4 by Wilson off a ground ball of Grisham loads the bases with 2 outs. Grounded to short. Arias gets Rice, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, 1 error, and the bases left loaded.
Everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Phillies and Blue Jays tonight in top of the first. That's Trey Turner off Bowden Francis, a 2-run shot to right center in the first inning, his 6th of the year. Very next batter, Bryce Harper, fresh off missing 4 games with a bruised right elbow. He goes back-to-back. Phillies scored 6 in the first. They lead it 7-0 in the 5th, guys.
Thank you, Bob. We go around the majors. Cal Raleigh, 23 home runs this season. 23 home runs this season. Major league record for catcher for a full season is 48 by Sal Perez in 2021. Mike Trout's returned in a big way. And Corbin Burns, well, so far so good. You know, you thought when he walked off the mound it was Tommy John surgery, 15-day IL, right elbow inflammation for Burns. So hopefully he will avoid going under the knife. Yankees lead 1-0 as we start the 6th. John Kensey Noel takes a strike. Each team with 2 hits. But the walk came back to bite Bybee in the 5th. And Rodon has not walked a batter and struck out 7. And his 2 hits he gave in the first inning.
Mike, I don't know about you, but I felt a little overmatched here. I came up before the game, right? Our CEO, John Littner, was up there with some of his college baseball from Yale, of course.
Of course.
So as we're having the conversation, I kept hearing Yale, and then I just realized you have to be pretty smart to go there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think to drive by, you have to be pretty smart. I thought it was unnecessary that all of them wore ivy around their necks.
Is that a little overkill?
This game's on national TV as well. There's a Yaley.
Yeah,
Ron
Darling. Huh?
One of the guys that was with the group that we met caught Ron Darling in his senior year. Noel down on strikes. And I asked him, I said, when Ronnie pitched, did you say this is a big leaguer? He said maybe not until his junior, senior year. He said, but I thought he'd be drafted as a position player.
Oh, really?
He was a really good outfielder with a great arm and he could hit. Turned out okay.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good career behind the mic and out on the baseball field.
There's a strike to Kwan.
Well, we're getting a lot of time to talk because there's really not a lot going on, and it's because Rodon has been so good on the mound. Totally shut down the Guardians.
65 pitches. 1 out into the 6th. Ground ball. Goldschmidt, he bobbles. He's going to flip it to Rodon, and they get the out.
You know, it was earlier in the game we saw Rodon talking to Santana. He has a tendency every once in a while to talk to some of the visiting players, especially down there at first base. I remember last play he was talking to Kwan. There was another close play at first base.
He made 3 putouts at first.
Yeah, you don't see that from pitchers very often. You know, they kind of grunt at you, look at you, and try to intimidate you. You don't see them usually trying to have a conversation with you.
Martinez takes a strike. Guardians might have had their opportunity in the first inning. They didn't cash in. Second and third with 1 out, but a strikeout of Fry and a strikeout looking of Santana got Rodon out of the jam.
Yeah, he's pitched ahead all night. 15 out of 20 first pitch strikes, and that just opens up his whole arsenal as far as his secondary pitches.
Fly ball right field. Toward the line is Judge. And he can't make the play. Had it in his glove and then couldn't come up with the bobble. So Martinez will get another swing.
Said it many times that wall does not give at all, so it kind of jars your body. See, that's concrete right behind the padding. It was in the glove, out of the glove, in the glove, out of the reach.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if that would have been a catch if he caught. It looks like this guy touched it. The guy in the white tracksuit. Yeah, there's no way.
He did, or that ball was right in. That could have been even fan interference.
Well, that's what Boone is saying right now to the first base ump, Ron Culpa, and he wants them to take a look.
I think Carlos Rodon is like, you know what, here, I'll get him out myself. Don't hit the wall and hurt yourself.
The hand is in the glove, so the fan's hand touched the ball before it hit into Judge's glove. Now, is he leaning over? That's what you have to, because if it's in the stands, he has every right to grab it. If it's not in the stands and he touches it, it's fan interference.
Well, it's weird because you don't see, as you're going to hear there.
The field was foul ball. The court is challenging whether it's fan interference.
Now we're going to take a look at it, but you don't see Aaron Judge, get to a ball very often and not, glove it. And it just, until you see the replay and see that hand.
Challenge replay brought to you by Citizens Made Ready. Now, that's a great replay that the fan touched it, but the real replay is right down the line. Is he leaning over? It looks like he's about even with the wall, which I guess would be fair game for the fan. This might be a better look.
He extends his arms out.
Yeah, he does.
But you know what? As I watch it in slow motion, that hurts. A ball coming down and hitting you in your bare hand right in the palm, that hurts.
Isn't that the spot where Mookie Betts ran into some trouble in the World Series?
Again, this is one where I don't know that you have the perfect angle to overturn this, but it's definitely worth a replay.
No, Judge didn't complain right away.
Yeah.
He didn't say a word. It was Aaron Boone who came out. I really don't know which way this is going to go.
I don't know that if they escort him out, I know which way he's going to go.
Right, if they escort him out, that means he interfered. Right. If they don't, then he didn't interfere. So I guess if the call is overturned, it's good for the Yankees, bad for that fan.
Exactly.
I feel sorry for those fans, though, because it's all...
After review, the call on the field is overturned. We do have fan interference. Batter down, the court will take it down.
Well, the Phillies leaving the ballpark, and the Yankees are leaving the field because it was fan interference. And Aaron Judge gets the putout, and another 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Rodon. There it is, overturned, 1-0 Yanks. Yankees Baseball on Yes, brought to you in part by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Bet365, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Now, last check, the fan's still there. Which it's hard to argue with that because I think it's a national... He didn't reach out over. He doesn't know exactly where the ball is going to be. He's probably getting his phone blown up right now, and his hand probably hurts as well. But he is still there.
I mean, if you need
to let him stay.
A replay to really figure out whether it was interference or not, I mean, give the guy a break. Let him watch the game, right? I think they did the right thing. Warn him. Don't do it again.
Here's Judge. You're so giving. If it was an umpire, though, you'd want him thrown out.
Oh, if he had stripes on his shirt, yeah, he's gone.
1-1. Judge broke up the perfect game with 2 outs in the 4th inning by working a walk. That was the Yankees' first base runner. First base hit was by Jazz Chisholm, a blooper in the left. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's 1-0 Yankees over the Guardians. First game of a 3-game set. Tied him up. Check swing. Did he go? Yeah, he did. 1-2.
Late reaction there, and it just could not hold back. His body swung the bat more than his hands.
3-2 on Judge. Leading off here in the bottom of the 6th. Bybee, this is 85th pitch. High fly ball left field. Kwan has plenty of room, and Kwan puts it away for out number 1. It's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. Good record, 251 and 161. ERA of 3.74. Oh, this is easy. I'm not even going to read the rest. Don't insult our audience, Troy.
Oh, he's got a big day this summer. He's got a big day this summer, too, huh? You know, every once in a while, we just need a break, Michael. We just need a gimme.
Yes, well, that's a gimme.
Yeah. When you take a test, every once in a while, you need a multiple choice with an obvious answer.
I don't see that being hard.
You don't think I need to call our CEO from Yale to get the answer?
No, I don't think we have to go to John Littner. 0-2. Bellinger's 0 for 2 tonight. Ground ball is short, fouled out to the catcher. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bellinger down on strikes.
Well, both starting pitchers have been phenomenal tonight. And just another breaking ball outside the strike zone, and another swing and miss.
You know what that name that Yankee was like? You're studying all night for your trigonometry exam. Oh, come in, there's one question, 1 + 1.
All right. It's 2, right?
You got it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
There's a strike to Goldschmidt.
I feel so happy. I got your question right and the trivia question all in one night.
Bybee's pitching great. Keeping the hitters off balance, using his full arsenal. 0-2 on Goldschmidt, who's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a ground ball to third. Nice crowd on hand here on a Tuesday evening in New York.
Yeah, there's that good changeup that I thought, second, third time through the lineup he'd start to get to. Good pitch for him, especially when you can get through that first inning or two without using it.
The 2-2. Strike 3. Goldschmidt down looking. Yankees go down in order in the 6th. We're going to the 7th. It's 1-0 Yanks. It's time for pitching decisions presented by Saves. They've been pretty good decisions, Paul.
Rodon's been ridiculous. As he has been, he's 6-0 in his last 8 starts, and he has just brought the same game in. Changeup, slider, good fastball. Again, Carlos Rodon. And on the other side, Bybee both throwing well.
The Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. They've both gotten it done. Rodon, just a little bit better. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Guardians against the Yankee lefty.
Well, that was his 71st pitch. And if you break it down, he had 22 pitches in the first inning where he got a little in trouble. Then it was 9, 11, 9, 9, 10. So he has been efficient with getting strikeouts, getting ahead, and keeping the Guardians off the scoreboard.
First pitch strikes are there. Hasn't had a low to 3 ball counts. That's how you keep a low pitch count. Up the middle. Just out of the reach of Volpe. A base hit for Ramirez.
It almost looked like Rodon backed off, thinking it was going to be an easy play for Volpe, but Volpe was shaded towards the hole. And watch, this ball's kind of back the middle, and he kind of just pulls back, thinking, I'll let the shortstop make the play. And like I said, Volpe was way over in the hole at shortstop. letting this ball get to center field.
That breaks a streak of 17 straight retired by Rodon. The first hit since Ramirez's hit in the first inning. So Ramirez with 2 hits against Rodon. Here's Fry. Ramirez goes, and Escar could not get a handle on the pitch. So a stolen base for Ramirez, his second of the game.
Yeah, Ramirez, we've talked about his base stealing, but Escara now, that's one thing you look at. 0 for 16 at throwing runners out so far this year. As a backup catcher, he does a great job defensively. Just has not been able to throw out runners so far. See the transition there. It's just so natural. It just did not get a handle on it.
Right side and off the glove of LeMahieu, goes into right field. Ramirez is coming home. Here's the throw from Judge, not in time. It's a tie game.
Well, a stolen base and then a ball that you usually see DJ LeMahieu knock down or make the play. It looked like it came back in on him, and he kind of overshot the ball. And then with Ramirez's speed, no hesitation to send him home. Aaron Judge, not much of a chance.
That breaks a streak of 20 straight scoreless innings for Rodon.
And what was his, you were talking earlier, and he was 21. What's his career high at Chicago?
That was San Francisco in 2022.
Okay. As you look at LeMahieu, see, he kind of went past the ball, and then he had to kind of short arm it. And by doing that, you kind of lose vision of the ball, and then it went off the heel of his glove out into right field.
The pitch to Santana is a strike. 0 for 2 against Rodon. Crowd of 40,683 here at the stadium on this Tuesday evening. 1-1. Mark Leiter Jr. heating up. Three and one. Santana with an 11-game hitting streak coming into this one. 3 and 2.
That's a perfect example right there, Michael, is going to your third or fourth pitch, even in a tough situation, 3-1, sinker away, get a foul ball instead of going to that fastball or the cutter, which is in the back of mind of every one of the Guardians hitters.
Line to left field. Bellinger makes the play. Fry, nearly all the way to second, heads back to first. Check out the bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. So yesterday was an off day. Devin Williams threw 12 pitches on Sunday. Loaisiga 19. Tim Hill 14. Devin Williams, if he pitches tonight, would be 3 out of 4, which they sometimes try to stay away from. Everybody else looks like they're in pretty good shape. Here's Arias. One and 0. Lined and over the leaping try of LeMahieu for a base hit. And Grisham boots it out in center field, allowing Fry to go to third. Going to second is Arias, and he is out. Big second out on on the throw to LeMahieu, but a runner at third now with 2 outs.
Boy, that's a huge out for the Yankees. After a ball that DJ LeMahieu looked like he could have gloved, it got over his head, and then Grisham kind of boots it into center. But then Arias gives them an out. Right here, an easy out, where now Rodon can get out of this inning with 2 outs, man on third base. Well, looked like it backed up on Grisham, but he had enough to make a good throw to second base and get an easy out, and a big out for Rodon. You see, now I've got a chance as a pitcher. You know, first and third, 1 out. A much different position than now with 2 outs.
All right, so that's a single. The E8 allows Fry to go to third, and Arias is also outstretching 8-4. And if you're keeping score at home, the David Fry ground ball that got past LeMahieu is considered a hit. It's not an E4, not scored an E4. So Matt Blake, the pitching coach, has a talk with Rodon. Go ahead, runs at third base with 2 outs. Here's Will Wilson, 0 for 2 against Rodon. So the Guardians 2 hits in the first inning, then nothing second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and now 3 hits here in the 7th. 5 hits in total against Rodon. Good changeup, 0-2.
Boy, this inning in particular, you can remember a couple at bats. A 3-1 sinker, then a 3-2 changeup, and then a changeup there in a fastball count. So he is really using everything. Get himself in a position right here to get out of this inning.
I think that was his best fastball of the night in terms of velocity, 96 miles an hour. Bo Naylor is on deck.
Watch this slider down and in. You just got to make sure you don't bounce it too far. Obviously, with a man on third base, it's an easy way for Cleveland to pick up a run.
Two and 2 on Wilson. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. High, 3-2. So just like that, the pitch count about to go to 90.
You see Rodon step off. Obviously a huge pitch in this game. You want to be on the same page. You want to have this pitch with some conviction, exactly how you want to get somebody out.
Still 3-2.
He challenged him with the fastball. He got that one, I think, a little bit lower than he wanted. He's been throwing that fastball high in the strike zone.
And that's the first walk of the night by Rodon. So with Leiter ready, they're going to keep him in to face the lefty Naylor.
The way that he's been throwing, I mean, he deserves the opportunity to get out of every big jam. And, you know, obviously this here in the 7th with a tie game 1-1, this is a big at bat.
Good slider, drops in for a strike. Fry is at third. Wilson's at first. 1 run in, 2 outs. Fly ball, left center. And Bellinger puts it away, and that'll do it. But the Guardians tie the score, 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 men left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. It's the Yankees 1 and the Guardians 1. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, you rise and remove your caps, and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Captain Tom Parker from Austin, Texas, who served in the Vietnam War and received the Bronze Star. The Yankees say, thank you, Tom, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
For your Ford Studio update, Bob and Todd with you. Guardians scratch out a run in the top of the 7th, but despite that, Carlos Rodon rock solid again.
He has been very dominant. You think of the first inning, giving up 2 singles. You thought there was going to be a couple runs there. Gets 2 big strikeouts to Fry, and then my man Carlos Santana, who's been hitting really well. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Can't ask for anything better.
All right, see if they can get him some runs, get him a win. It would be his 7th of the season. We'll get it back to you guys right now, and Todd and I, along with Meredith, we'll see you on the WB Mason postgame.
Well, thank you, Bob and Todd. 1-5-1 for the Guardians. 1-2-1 for the Yankees. Bybee, 6 innings strong. Ramirez, he's always good, 2 for 3. Rodon's been great again, just that 1 run. And DJ LeMahieu driven in the Yankees' only run. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the stadium. And Bybee still in there with a 93 pitch count. And he'll face Chisholm, Volpe, and Escara. Ford scoreboard, it's 1-1. That one is driven to right field and deep. There it goes. See ya. Welcome back, Jazz Chisholm. It's 2-1 Yankees.
Mike, I think we got a Euro step coming.
You think so?
Yeah, the next season's over. There we have got a little Euro step. You're right, Michael. Welcome back. We talked about in the pregame what he can do for a team defensively. You've seen his speed, and now his belt. A little line drive just ripped into the seats and right. Yankees back with the lead.
That's his 8th home run of the year. And here's Volpe. And a strike.
Just looked like a top spin lob. I mean, just a rocket, but you didn't know if it was high enough because it had top spin on it.
First one since April 21st at Cleveland.
Pretty much where Naylor wanted it, too. Kind of up and in, had no problem getting to it. You know, he's been working on that little style for what, 4 weeks now.
He only had 3 games in rehab, right?
Yeah, all at Double-A, Somerset. 3 for 9 in those games. Right back here and under our boot.
Four-seam fastball again, pretty much where he was supposed to throw it. Might have been down a little bit, might have wanted it up a little bit more. Right where the Yankees wanted it, in the first row.
How about that catch? Driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Back to back by the Yankees, and they lead 3-1.
We talked about his home runs on the road. He's given up 11 now. I was going to be very disappointed, Michael, if you didn't get to say see you a few times. Volpe's 7th of the year. Hanging breaking ball. Just got the bat head out in front and was able to keep it fair. What I really love, though, is to see Rodon in battle and get through that last inning. Now, a couple big swings from your offense, and now you've got a 3-1 lead. Again, when those breaking balls don't get off the plate and they just spin, this is usually what happens. Right off the barrel, just total extension. Actually left one iron off the bat, but was able to not hook it foul.
So the left side of the infield with some power. The third baseman and the shortstop go back to back. And it started with this swing.
That's got a little flair to it, huh? I don't even think he's brought his A game out.
Carl Willis trying to settle down. Bybee. Fifth time they've gone back-to-back this season, tied for the most in baseball with the Braves and the Cubs. Home runs bring smiles.
They do. They bring leads. They bring runs. They bring all kinds of stuff. Fans jump. Where's the side view when I need it? The fans standing up. I love it.
Here's J.C. Escara. Can they go back-to-back-to-back? And a strike. So Bybee now has allowed 14 home runs on the season. Once again, if you're keeping score at home, they have taken the error away from Grisham in the top of the inning. Which means they're saying that the runner would have gotten to third even if he had not booted the ball. The 1-2. Yankees, bottom of the 7th. No one warming in the Yankee bullpen. 2-2 on Escara. That's the Yankee bullpen without Weaver and with the re-addition of Yerry De Los Santos and Fernando Cruz.
Well, nobody up in the bullpen, but Leiter Jr. was up, so he's probably a quick guy to get ready. But Carlos Rodon with 93 pitches should possibly get through another inning. But, you know, with that jacket on.
Yeah, that tells you something.
It's kind of like I've thrown well. I got a lead. It looks like I've got enough.
Serve to left field. Kwan. One down. Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Well, with 107 pitches, that's going to do it for Bybee, as Stephen Vogt will come out and get the ball from his right-hander. He's going to a left-hander, Colby Albert, when we come back. Time to find out who the Name That Yankee is today. Too easy. Please, I hope everybody got it. C.C. Sabathia going to the Hall of Fame this summer. And boy, he deserves it. He was great with the Yankees. Big part of their 2009 championship. Protected his teammates. Not on my watch. And when he threw his final pitch, Paul, that was it. That's all he had in that arm.
What a way to retire. That was after his 3,000th strikeout. I remember that night.
Won a Cy Young Award with Cleveland. Championship with the Yankees.
He and his wife have done tons of stuff here in New York, too. They've really stayed active with a lot of things. It's good to see.
Colby Allard appearing in his 9th game. Last appearance was Wednesday, so he's had a rest. (2-0) on LeMahieu. LeMahieu drove in the Yankees' first run, RBI single right in the 5th. That one is driven into left center field. On the run as Kwan got a good jump, reaches up to make the play.
Life moves, and so should your connection. Get fast and reliable speeds on the network that moves with you. Spectrum.
So 2 down, back to the top of the lineup, and Trent Grisham, he's 0 for 3, reached on an error by the second baseman Wilson in the 5th.
You look at Bybee, and he threw the ball well. He gave those 2 home runs up late, but season high 107 pitches. So your Vogt, the manager, you've got to be happy where he's starting to trend. Starting to throw the ball a lot better than he did earlier.
Fly ball, center field. Martinez back, makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees take the lead, and they do it in a powerful way. First one since April 21st, just off the IL and into the seats for Jazz Chisholm. And then Anthony Volpe follows it up with one of his own. And when it lands, the Yankees lead 3-1. Well, this year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. On Friday, June 6th, first 18,000 guests receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service. It's courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going faster. Get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Well, as we surmised, Carlos Rodon is done for the day. The Hyundai scoreboard shows the Yankees have a 2-run lead. They're up 3-1 as we start at the top of the 8th. And Mark Leiter Jr., first out of the bullpen for the Yanks, will face 9, 1, and 2 in the order. Nolan Jones now pinch hits for Jhonkensy Noel. And there's a strike.
Well, I'm just processing that last graphic we had. You've got the Yogi Berra bobblehead, plus the first time Boston comes to town. I got a feeling Friday's going to be a madhouse here. Huh?
Yeah, so factor that in when you think about traffic, okay?
So what time am I supposed to leave? Noon?
You should leave it 1 o'clock.
1?
Yeah, 1's good.
All right. That'll get me here, what, 4?
Hey, Paul, I have a great idea. If you want to join me on BP All Access, you could do that, too.
What time's
We've got an All Access show, too.
You know what? I'll bring 2 suits that day. How's that?
I love that.
Jones with a fly ball, a shallow right. The Judge makes the play.
Lou Gehrig. And I thought it was interesting. I saw on the scoreboard, he was the first number ever retired in 1939 on that July 4th day.
And that's the order that all the numbers were retired. If you pull out, you see Babe Ruth was next, and then Joe D. And the most recent one retired, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
Huh? The 21 Club. Again, you got your guard right in front of it. 2 guys this time.
Nice.
People just aching to get in.
It was funny. My son, last time we were in town, he came for a family gathering from his wife, and they actually sent me a picture. They were at Lou Gehrig's childhood home. And it's like a national landmark now. It was a really cool picture he sent me.
Now, for our younger viewers, you saw the unveiling of that monument. Those monuments used to be on the field of play. And center fielders would have to, run through them sometimes. Now, it was 460 some odd feet away, but it was on the field of play. There's a great video of Bobby Mercer, like trying to squeeze between 2 of the monuments to get a long ball that got past him.
I mean, there were numerous inside the Parkers back then, right? Ball banging off the monuments. Center fielders trying to chuck them in from 460 feet out.
Three and 2. But when they opened the second stadium in 1976, they moved them out to left center field. When they opened this stadium, it's now in center field, Monument Park, behind the center field wall. And Kwan works a walk against Mark Leiter Jr.
This baseball season, nothing hits like Dunkin'. Always a fan favorite. Swinging today. America runs on Dunkin'.
So 1 on, 1 out. And here's Martinez. 1 for 3. Want to get him out because Jose Ramirez is on deck. You'd like to get him to hit into a double play. 0-1. Three 4-0 for the Yanks, 1-5-1 for the Guardians. Lined into center field. And Grisham makes the play. 2 down.
A good break for Leiter. That ball was hammered right back up the middle. Carried all the way to Grisham for an easy play. But this is the big out that you're looking at. You were talking about it. Ramirez coming to the plate. He's been much better this year off lefties, but still over 300 against righties. And those 11 home runs.
Well, he's 2 for 3 tonight. Kwan leads off first, held there by Goldschmidt. Cruz heating up alongside Hill. Cruz just off the IL today.
You could tell a veteran hitter. I mean, he was all over that curveball like he was looking for it. And, that's just knowing pitching. Leiter will go at you early in the count with that slow curveball. And it looked like Ramirez was sitting all over it. Just swung through it.
He's hurt the Yankees in his career. 65 games, a .333 hitter, an OPS of .960. David Fry on deck. With that great pitch for Leiter, the splitter. 2-2, it moves down, and it's a change of speed.
Yeah, that ball had good movement away, thank goodness, because it was up in the strike zone, not where you really want it. But look at the movement, the knuckling effect. There's not a lot of spin on that ball.
Hit sharply at LeMahieu. And a scoreless inning for Leiter. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees up 3-1. Now it's time for the Audi Electric Moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, welcome back. And back-to-back. This gives the Yankees the lead, and then a hanging breaking ball extends that lead to 3-1. The Yankees are right now. Back-to-back home runs for the Yankees. That's your electric moment.
Nolan Jones takes over in right field. He pinch hit for Noel.
I guess that would be a plural, wouldn't it? Electric moments. We're doing 2 of them.
The moment of the game was the back-to-back moment. A thrilling game.
I don't want to correct you. You know, I'm going to lose. It's not a fair fight.
No, I don't decide that. Our producer decides that. I'm just defending my guy. Ground ball by Rice. Santana flips to Allard. 1 down.
Mike, I was just looking at this, and this is interesting to me because I always look back at the rivalry we had with the Indians. You know, they beat us in '97. We beat them in '98. But the most frequent postseason matchups, 12 times the Yankees played the Dodgers. And then it goes all the way down to 7. Yankees against the Guardians. Yankees against the Giants. So these two teams have gone at it year after year.
1-0 on Judge. Judge 0 for 2 with a walk. Warming up for the Yankees, Devin Williams, as he is the closer now with Luke Weaver on the IL. .3-0 on Judge. And a strike, 3-1.
I was surprised at 2 things there, Michael, that he threw him a fastball right down the middle, and that Aaron Judge figured he wasn't going to, and just took it.
And there's ball 4. So Judge reaches for the second time via a walk. Yankees return to Prime tomorrow, take on the Guardians. Don't miss a minute of Yankees coverage beginning at 6:30 only on Prime.
Get nervous when we're on Prime, Michael?
You know what? I get nervous every time I'm around you.
Is that right?
Yeah, those 5 World Series rings flash in my face.
Yeah, I wear them, right? Look like paperweights. How are you going to wear those things on your hand?
They've gotten progressively bigger over the years, too.
You ever seen some of the Super Bowl rings?
Yeah.
They look like lampshades.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't wear them, really.
No. Well, you can wear them, but everybody knows exactly what you're doing.
Which is what you want if you wear it. I mean, I've seen ones now that you open up and there's a chip in there. And you put the chip into like a hard drive and
nice.
You see highlights. I think Bill Belichick was at a Super Bowl function this year. He had all of his rings on. All of them.
Really?
That's a flex. Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Got him. Good tag there by Arias.
Well, Naylor got a good pitch to throw on. Aaron Judge a decent jump, but a little hesitant off a lefty. But a good throw right on the money. Gets Aaron Judge and his tall order socks before he gets to the base.
Two on Bellinger. Allard deals. Line drive. It's a base hit to left field. Bellinger 1 for 4.
Absolutely love that swing. I mean, you put yourself in a different frame of mind as a hitter. I mean, look, he's just serving this ball. It's not a big swing. Just lace it the other way. It's so much better than just, you know, trying to. And I remember when we had C.C. Sabathia up here in the booth one day, and he said the reason it's easy to pitch now than it was earlier is because players are trying to get their A swing off every single time. That's not an A swing. That's a defensive swing, but it's a base hit. And that's, in my mind, the way you play baseball.
0-1 on Goldschmidt, who has owned left-handers this year. Paul is 0 for 3 tonight. That one is a fly ball to right field. Jones is there and makes the play. No runs a hit, no errors, and one down left. Devin Williams will come on and try to close it out in the ninth. Yankees lead 3-1. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Ford stores. Ford is proud to be the official SUV of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Hey fans, stay tuned after the final out for tonight's WB Mason Yankee postgame as Bob Lorenz and Todd Frazier will have highlights and analysis. Meredith Marakovitz gets player interviews in the clubhouse. And we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. All coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, the big news was Luke Weaver had to go on the IL with a hamstring injury. And here's Devin Williams, who grabs back the closer role. And he'll deal to Kyle Manzardo, pinch hitting for Fry. Count 0-1. So in his first 10 games, Williams had an 11.25 ERA. In his last 15 games, essentially pitching the 8th inning, 3.29 ERA. You know, when he has struggled, it has been when he's pitched the 9th inning. Those are the numbers I just said. And Aaron Boone said if he would have been pitching the 8th inning at the beginning of the year, he would have struggled. He just wasn't right. He said, I don't think it had anything to do with the innings. He said also he's an established closer. He's been a great closer for the past 3-4 years, so they have no worries.
It's not like you're bringing him here and expecting him to do something different. I mean, he's been the game's best closer for years, but he got off to a tough start. And what has happened right here, he's been able lately to control his fastball, which makes his changeup then unhittable. But early in the year, he didn't have a pitch that he could throw for strikes when he needed, and that's when he struggled.
Bellinger toward the line will retire Manzardo for out number 1. The upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. 2 more against the Guardians. Tomorrow's on Prime, then back on Yes Thursday. And then Friday, it's on Yes at 7:05. And then the Nationals take over again Saturday on Fox, Sunday on ESPN. Yankees lead for Kansas City for 3. And then at Fenway Park for 3 against the Red Sox.
I think the Nationals, they're scared of us, Michael. They don't want us to do the games. They just want to take them from us.
Yeah, I will reserve judgment.
All I know is you got Boston 6 out of 9 days. You've got Boston starting on Friday.
0-1 on Santana, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Fouls off the changeup, 0-2. He'll get the win if Williams closes it out. It'll be his 8th win of the year. In the seats, still 0-2.
Well, again, being able to throw that fastball, and now that Santana was late on that fastball, you start to try to anticipate to catch up to it, and that's when that changeup absolutely becomes unhittable.
That's what he was thinking, as was Escara, but the pitch out of the zone, 1-2.
You know, now you've shown him a couple fastballs where you can throw that changeup 2 or 3 times in a row now if you want.
Popped up behind the plate. Escara gives it a look. It's in the seats and out of play. Yankees would love for Williams to have a clean inning here, get his confidence back about closing. Now, he's never said he lost confidence, but he certainly did struggle. And with the chance that Luke Weaver could be out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, you'd love to see just a smooth transition into Williams being able, being the closer that they expected him to be when they brought him over.
Grounded foul. Santana's 11-game hitting streak on the line. Yankees lead 3-1. It was a 1-1 game going into the 7th, and back-to-back home runs by Chisholm and Volpe. This is the 8th pitch coming in the at-bat. And that'll be 9.
Santana's been able to foul off good changeups, been late on the fastball, which to me, as a hitter, in my opinion, he's looking for the changeup. So he's late on the fastball, but able to foul off the changeup.
And the 1-2. Driven into left center field. That could be trouble, and it is. It splits the outfield. Is cutting it off in the gap is Bellinger. He'll get it in, but it's a double for Santana, who extends his hitting streak to 12 straight.
Well, he's been one of the hotter hitters, and that was some at bat. Double figures in pitches, fouled off fastballs and changeup. Finally, a fastball he caught up with, probably out of the strike zone, but stayed on top and lined it into left center field. Any loop in that swing, and that's strike 3. He was really short and just square level to the baseball that high in the strike zone.
So here is Arias. He comes up as a tying run. And a strike with the changeup on the outside corner.
Well, it certainly makes Anthony Volpe's second home run in that inning look so much bigger now that you've got Santana at second base.
0-2. I saw he's looked bad on 2 changeups. He tried to get cute now and throw the fastball.
You know what? I don't. I continue. As bad as he looked on this, way out front and off the ball. You want to waste a fastball, okay, but I would stick with that changeup.
And he did, just missed. You see Daniel Schneemann getting ready to pinch hit for Wilson. Fouls back the fastball, 95 miles an hour. And the 1-2. Just got a piece of the chain. Stay alive.
Oh, you saw Williams' reaction to that. Like, I had him. He just got a piece of it right when before the strikeout, just fouled it off.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the change. One more out to go.
Yeah, probably the best changeup he threw in the count, but it all came about that he showed him one fastball. And then he went back-to-back changeup. And you see that hand underneath the baseball and then coming over it. You know, changeup, you could call it a changeup, a screwball with that much side spin. That's like the old-fashioned screwball.
So here's Daniel Schneemann to pinch hit for Will Wilson. Schneemann with 7 home runs and 16 runs batted in this year. Only Austin Hedges remains on the bench for the Guardians. Manzardo and Jones and Schneemann all off the bench as pinch hitters, the 3 lefties that Stephen Vogt had in the lineup or on the bench. 1-0. Fouled off the foot of Schneemann. 1-1. The 1-1 upstairs with the fastball. 2-1. Guardians have 6 hits. They've out-hit the Yankees 6-5, but the Yankees lead 3-1. 2 outs here in the ninth. Devin Williams on the close. 23rd pitch. Grounded and through for a base hit. Santana's coming home. Judge throws the ball into second. It's an RBI pinch hit single for Schneemann, and now it's 3-2 Yanks.
Well, the Guardians have put together some good at-bats, but again, I mean, this could have easily been a ground ball into the game. It just found a hole on the right side. It's a two-hopper through the infield, but it just found the right spot. Again, nothing matters. You get this last out, all's forgiven.
Look at disappointment on Williams, and Matt Blake's going to come out and talk to Devin. It'll be Bo Naylor against Williams. Tying runs at first base. That's Schneemann. Naylor the go-ahead run at home plate. Now this is the third time that Williams has pitched in 4 days. So 8th inning or earlier, a 2.53 ERA. 9th inning or later, a 10.03 ERA, and that just went up with that single.
Schneemann on first base, 2 stolen bases on the year. Bo Naylor 7 home runs on the year. So a couple things working here.
And a strike. Starting with the fastball.
Yeah, that strike one fastball really sets up the whole count, because now the hitter knows the changeup but has seen the fastball.
The 0-1. 1 strike away. All right, so he's seen the fastball, he's seen the change. What are you going with here?
Well, I think he stays with the changeup. You know, try to get a swing and miss.
2 outs. The pitch. Line foul ball.
The changeup, and he was kind of on that one. So, you know, if you want to waste a fastball just to kind of speed him up, fine. But I think your out pitch is still the changeup. See, that one had a ton of spin, but not a lot of movement away. And it just gave Naylor an opportunity to hammer it foul.
Making him work. This will be the 27th pitch of the inning. Crowd, most of them standing, looking for the 3rd out. One with the fastball out of the zone.
Yeah, that kind of speeds things up. And now you can either try to back to back and trick the hitter, or go back to your changeup, because all of a sudden your eye level, your speed, everything has been changed by seeing that fastball again.
Schneemann leads off first, held there by Goldschmidt. Yankees play. Naylor to pull in the infield. Keeping Schneemann close. Volpe is practically up the middle, and Jazz Chisholm is playing where a shortstop would play. In the outfield, they're straight away.
Really leaning there on first base. Schneemann.
The 1-2. 2-2. There's nobody warming in the pen. They are going to allow Devin Williams to get this third out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2 Yanks. Runner goes. Pitch is high. The throw to second. It's a stolen base. It's a big one because now the tying run is in scoring position.
Yeah, you could see him leaning the pitch before, and he was just waiting for that opportunity, thinking another changeup. And again, Escara, not a bad throw, but on the wrong side of the bag. He kind of taught his catchers to throw the ball up the line towards first to make the tag that much easier for the middle infielder.
Well, now all the Guardians need is a single, and they could tie the score. Full count. Nolan Jones on deck. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Williams. And the payoff. Fly ball left center. On the run is Bellinger. He's there, makes the play, and the Yankees hold on and win it 3-2. Devin Williams gets the save. Rodon gets the win. Couple of home runs. One by Chisholm, one by Volpe, and the Yankees start the homestand with a victory.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was all on Rodon's shoulder. He was phenomenal again. A couple big home runs. Nothing's going to be easy for Williams, but he did get the job done. Great way to start the homestand against the Guardians.
Yankees once again 15 games over 500. They go to 37-22. Jazz Chisholm comes off the IL and plops a home run into the short porch, and then Volpe follows with one. That's the difference in the game as the Yankees win 3-2. We'll come back with awards and then the postgame after that. Yankees win 3-2. We take a look at the exit velocity presented by Spectrum on this drive.
Well, it didn't take long to get back in the lineup and a little tiptoe down the line. 105.7. A big home run for Jazz Chisholm.
The only one who doesn't like it is Pat Rossler. He gets bitten. All right, let's take a look now at the Cadillac drive of the game.
Well, the drive of the game, and they needed it with Anthony Volpe. His 7th of the year was back-to-back with Jazz Chisholm in the 7th. Ended up being the game winner. Yankees win 3-2. That's your drive of the game.
Yankees win with a 3-5-0 line, beating 2-7-1. Took 2 hours and 39 minutes. Rodon, 9th straight good start. He's 8-3. Devin Williams, a 6th save. Bobby took the loss. Ramirez, another good game. And we showed you Chisholm and Volpe going back-to-back in the 7th to win it. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned to the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Todd Frazier. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, and Mike Webb. And the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees continue this ALCS rematch against the Guardians. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Prime, with first pitch coming shortly after 7. Again, the final score, the New York Yankees 3 and the Cleveland Guardians 2. For Paul O'Neill and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Todd Frazier, standing by in our Yes Network studios with the post-game show. Guys?
Hey everybody, it's great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Todd Frazier with you. Game 1 between the Yanks and Guardians in the book, and the Yankees hang on to win it 3-2 on the pregame today. You said welcome back to the Bronx after that road trip. Welcome back, Jazz Chisholm. He had a big impact. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Jazz Chisholm coming in there. The first 2 at-bats looks like he was a little out in front. He said it himself. He didn't see a fastball yet, and once he got that fastball, he took care of business. It was a slow-playing game, especially after the first inning. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of missed plays, and then all of a sudden, boom, Jazz with that home run to give him another 2-run lead, and then back-to-back with the Volpe there. That was pretty nice.
Well, let's take a look at that because it's our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore, the official hospital of the New York Yankees, Montefiore Einstein. And we'll start in that bottom of the 7th. It's a 1-1 game. Jazz leading off the inning. It doesn't waste any time.
Yeah, he takes this first pitch fastball as he was waiting for the whole time. When you come back after an injury, you're looking for fastballs. He got one. He didn't miss. Snuck right over the right field wall.
And then you mentioned after that made it a 2-1 game. Anthony Volpe comes up next.
Yeah, really good at bat here. Got to a full count, 3-2 pitch. He didn't throw. Bybee did really well today, actually. Didn't throw many sweepers. The one he did, he left it up. Volpe knew right off the bat. 6-7 rows up, back-to-back homers. You'd like to see that a lot more as they move forward.
Yeah, no doubt about that, because he only had 5 hits on the night, but when 2 of them fly out of the park, that's a big part of this 3-2 Yankees win. So was Carlos Rodon, who went 7 innings of 1-run ball. He has allowed just 2 earned runs over his last 4 starts. Jazz goes deep with the go-ahead solo homer in the 7th, and then Opie his first home run since May 12th at the Mariners. Right after the game, Meredith Morakovich caught up with Jazz in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Jazz first came back since coming off the injured list. Just how great did it feel for you to get back out there with your teammates tonight?
I mean, it's great. You know, me and Volpe, our two-man is unstoppable. We always said that from last year to this year. We just can't wait to get back on the field and play with each other. So I'm super excited to be back.
Can you describe what that dugout was like after you hit the home run, then Volpe follows you up there after?
Oh, we were ecstatic, man. It's just pure excitement, pure joy, and, like, just happiness and knowing your team has your back, you know, and they're just so happy for what you're doing out there.
Might be pretty tough on you guys overall, but you singled off him in the 5th inning, then, of course, the home run. What were you able to figure out about him?
I was just taking my approach, man. I didn't get a fastball all night until that last at-bat, and I got the first pitch fastball, and I attacked it. You know, I've been waiting on one all night and executed.
Aaron Boone said you went into his office before the road trip and said, anywhere you need me to play, I am willing to play. How comfortable did you feel out there at third tonight?
I mean, I feel like I'm a natural third baseman, you know. Sometimes I just go out there and just feel superhuman over there. But, you know, getting the reps in and just coming to do it for the team every night is just all I ask. Is we come out here and I go over there and help us win every night.
Jazz, welcome back. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Meredith, thank you. Feel like a natural third baseman, superhuman at times. That's music to Aaron Boone's ears, right? Having Jazz at third.
Seeing you, I feel like you're superhuman. You're here all the time. But, yes, that is a funny way of going about things. The natural third baseman, I mean, he's natural at a lot of things, but third base, he's definitely doing pretty good for sure. And he's excited, and he should be. He just came back from an injury. He got a big home run to kickstart him to go back up 2-1. You know, this is what the Yankees need. They need that little pizzazz. They need that. He was smiling the whole time, too, how excited he was. It was really good for him to come back and produce. And a day that Aaron Judge didn't produce, for him and Volpe to do that, pretty exciting.
Well, that's the key, too, isn't it? That Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, Bellinger, all these guys producing at the top. You need to lengthen that lineup, and Jazz does that. It pencils him in the 6th spot today, and then 6, and Volpe and 7 come through in a big way.
Who is going to step up? You know, Aaron Judge isn't going to do it every single time. So who's going to go out there and help the team win? Huge start to the day here. Guardians are a really good team, and you got to go out there and fight them every single time. Jose Ramirez got another 2 hits, so they stopped him. They weren't the biggest hits, a couple singles here and there, but for the Yankees and Jazz, I'd keep smiling until tomorrow comes around.
That's the thing about the Guardians. They just chip away at you, no doubt. They fall 3-2 in this one. Now, Carlos Rodon, the other big story of this, he came in on fire, some great decisions, and now our pitching decisions presented by Sage, and it's the pitch mix with J.C. Escarra behind the plate that led to 8 more strikeouts.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest thing. In this sequence, too, he gassed him up with that fastball high, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and then there you go again with that nasty slider. So he worked every single pitch he needed to in any count that he wanted to as well.
Yeah, he could have done. They could have had a lot of damage in that first inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd. But then after that, he got on a roll and retired 17 straight.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. This guy is doing it. I mean, what a charge for the Yankees, especially with a couple injuries they got going on. This is a true number 1 when he came up with the White Sox, and he's showing it right now.
Well, you take a look at the ground ball out. Great coverage there as well. A clean game for the Yankees. No errors in this one. And finally, another big strikeout of Noel right there. As he goes down, and Carlos Rodon goes 7 innings. Allows just 5 hits and a run. Over his last 9 starts, he's 7-0 with a 1.27 ERA. It was a little rocky out of the gate, but again, 7-0 over his last 9. And we were talking about the pitch mix, how vital it is that he has at least 3 of the 4 working. Seemed like all 4 were in pretty good spot today.
And what did we talk about earlier in the day? We talked about that changeup. It looked like the changeup was going in on righties at some times and away to righties too as well. So if you got that mix in the bag right there where you could throw that changeup, and sometimes you don't know where it's going, that can actually help you in the manner that he needed it. His fastball was electric. He was up to 96 miles an hour late in the innings, and again, that back foot slider. So it kept the hitters off balance just enough. 7 innings from a starter. Nowadays, you'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah, makes it easy on the bullpen. We got to take a break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. When we come back, as usual, we're going to hear from the manager, Aaron Boone, as his guys notch a win in the opener against the Guardians.
The Yankees
postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
Let's take a look at our optimum player of the game, and it is indeed welcome back, Jazz Chisholm Jr., fresh off the injured list. And how about this with a nice assist from Paul Goldschmidt?
Yeah, when you get that backhand, you just got to let it go, throw it as hard as you can, and Paul Goldschmidt has been doing it all year long. What a beautiful pick, and a great job by him.
And at bottom of the fifth, the Yankees do not have a hit yet, and you thought that Stephen Kwan would get this one, but nope.
Yeah, it was a blooper to left field here. You thought Kwan would just keep coming. He took his eye off of it to look at the shortstop real quick. That's all it takes to get a big inning.
And then everybody defensively just stands and watches this one fly. Jazz Chisholm Jr. in a tie game, bottom of the seventh, the go-ahead run. They needed Volpe's home run next as they went back-to-back to win it. But again, Jazz Chisholm Jr., a huge impact in this game, fresh off the injured list. And with that in mind, let's hear from Aaron Boone now in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, what did you think of the immediate impact that Jazz had on that lineup?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, just see all the things he can do on the diamond. You know, you see the speed, just scoring easy from second there on the hit from DJ. Obviously, the homer to give us the lead right back after they tied it up, and pretty good play over there at third too to get the night started. So obviously really excited to have him back, and good to see him have that kind of impact right away.
You mentioned that defensive play, not an easy one to make. He told me on the field he's a natural third baseman. Just overall, what did you think of the defense tonight from him? Yeah, really good. And Goldie on the other end made a really good play too. So, yeah, I mean, just really good to see, you miss whatever a month or whatever, and to jump right back in and impact the game in such a profound way is, I'm sure, feels really good. Carlos kept it rolling again tonight. Just what stood out to you about his stuff this evening? Yeah.
Just the many ways that he can now beat you too. Was getting a ton of swing and miss. I thought the changeup was really good, but then getting the fastball to places he wanted to. The slider was excellent. Both back doors. Swinging over the top of it. I thought he was for punching out a lot of guys too. He's real efficient, and it was 7 pretty dominant innings, I thought.
Meredith.
They did make him work a little bit in that 7th inning. If that goes a little smoother in the 7th or quicker, do you put him back out there in the 8th? Maybe, because I was kind of toying with it when he got to the Wilson. The bat got kind of long on him. He worked hard. I kind of, as that at bat got deeper, I made my decision that regardless, Naylor was going to be his last hitter. Maybe had it been, super clean, maybe. And then Williams ultimately got the save, but did make it a little bit interesting there in that 9th inning. What was your impression of what he was doing tonight? I liked his mix. I liked his pitch decisions. I thought Santana had a great at bat against him, because I thought Devin really executed a lot within that at bat too. He's able to spoil some heaters, just kind of touch some of his good changeups down to extend the at bat before he's able to put one in the gap, and then Schneemann beats him in the hole. But I thought he threw the ball pretty well, but they took some tough at bats against him.
Gary,
you mentioned Carlos being able to get guys out in multiple ways now. In the past, he's spoken with pride about his fastball and kind of his refusal to stop throwing it. Do you get the sense he's taking pride in being able to get guys out in so many different ways right now?
Yeah, I think he's just really grown at the craft of pitching over the last few years. And, you're seeing a real polished, experienced guy now that, is obviously really talented too. So I do. I think he takes pride in knowing that I got a lot of different ways to go about this to beat you on any given night. And he keeps showing that.
Tyler.
When you guys got Jazz last year, how exciting was it to know that you could have a guy who, at his best, could impact the team in so many ways? And did you see that right away?
Yes. Because last year, too, we weren't, the most athletic group at times. And he really was a shot in the arm with that, one. But if you recall, it was kind of a time of the season where we were scuffling a little bit, and he came in and had an immediate impact. We went to Boston, I think, and won 3 out of 4, went down and swept Philly, and he was kind of right in the middle of all that and kind of helped us right the ship as we hit a little lull in the season. So he was immediate impact for us.
Max.
How would you assess DJ's defense overall since coming back from the IL, and how tough of a play is that, the one that he almost got to, the RBI single?
Yeah, I think he was there. I think he got to where it would look like a little bit of an in-between hop to me, so it kind of hopped over him. So he probably didn't get to the exact spot he wanted to make it like that short hop or long hop play. He's been really steady there. And that one just kind of, that's usually even a play that he makes a lot, but it was that in-between hop that just kind of hopped over him a little bit.
Clap to the right.
And just losing Weaver like that all of a sudden, Devin was doing so well in the 8th inning. Can you talk about your confidence in him and his readiness to just step right back in?
Yeah, a ton. He's been throwing the ball really well, really for the better part of a month, and I don't expect that to change now with the role changing a little bit. Again, this is a guy that's the role he is in tonight is what he knows, So I think he's got a lot of confidence going, and even though they got a run off him tonight, I thought his confidence and his conviction on pitches held throughout the outing.
Joel.
Just considering Weaver's first day out, putting Williams back, and he hasn't exactly won over this crowd, is there a healing on June 3rd, different kind of exhale like he got out of it?
Definitely felt good because they pressured us there, on a night when, both pitchers, I thought Bybee threw the ball really well, tied there late and to get those 2 runs to push it across. Leiter holds them down. It's like, man, let's finish this clean pitching performance off. Again, I don't know about more of an exhale. It's always nice when you win a low scoring game like that where tying runs on base at the end. I would say it's a long year. So, we forget things sometimes that happened a few weeks ago when we're down the road even further. The reality is I think he's in a really good place, and I think throwing the ball the way that'll allow him to excel in the role.
Okay, thank you.
So we're on Boone answering a variety of questions about Devin Williams, who did get his 6th save, but it took 30 pitches to do it. And you're always looking as a closer for that dominant inning, that great body language. He's still a work in progress in terms of getting there.
I think you said it perfectly, the body language. When we saw that single that was hit and they gave up the run, we kind of saw like, oh, man, like the shoulders kind of shrugged down a little bit, kind of like, man, I wish that play could have happened. That's the toughest part about being a closer. It's like a field goal kicker. You got to find a way to make that kick, and you got to find a way to get 3 outs. It's still a bit concerning, understanding 30 pitches. That's really hard. You don't want your closer throwing that many. His changeup, let's go on the good parts, though. His changeup looked really good, had a big strikeout there at the end. His fastball was a little bit of electric. You just got to keep hitting his spots, guy. He's going to get hit, but at the same time, how is he going to hit? Is the ball being hit hard? Is it finding holes? And I think today, the single found a hole and the double by Santana in left center, a little bit of bad luck. But again, 30 pitches, got to bring that down some way or another.
Yeah, which shoots him for the next game or two, depending. Yeah, all right, we got to take another break. When we come back here, we got more post-game reaction and full game highlights as the Yankees win the opener 3-2 against the Guardians. Stick around.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Tomorrow night on Yes, don't miss a new episode of The Story of My Number featuring Basketball Hall of Famer Vince Carter. The legendary New Jersey Net shares details on the numbers that shaped his career. Catch the new episode presented by the New York Lottery tomorrow after the Yankees postgame on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Let's jump into our Game 1 highlights. Highlights presented by your local Ford stores. And Todd, I think it bears repeating that first inning for Rodon. Had runners at second, third, one out. Could have gone sideways, but he didn't let that happen.
Set the tone right here. It does not matter. Here's a fastball. If you can hit it, go right ahead. Fry had no chance right there. He went down swinging, and then the backup slider looked absolutely stunning. Santana, who was hitting really well coming into this game, dominated him in that first inning.
So no harm, no foul there. Bottom of the first 2 outs. Judge up, and he's going to go down swinging on a 1-2 curveball from Tanner Bybee, who was really matching what Rodon was doing. Bottom of the second is Paul Goldschmidt in a 1-2 count. Strikes out on the foul tip for the second out of the inning. And that brings us to our Liberty Mutual field coverage as Angel Martinez steps in, top of the third. And, you know, when you make a play like this and Goldschmidt's at first, you just got to get the throw near the bag.
And that's momentum, too, as well. First off, you got to make a nice play with your backhand, let it loose, let it go, and you got to understand your first baseman's going to pick you up right there. And Goldschmidt has been doing it so often and kept his foot on for it looked like a really easy out. Just run off the field like nothing was ever easy, right?
Yeah, no big deal. Keeps it a scoreless game. Bottom of the fifth, DJ LeMahieu lining a first pitch fastball. That's a good sign when LeMahieu goes the opposite way. Noel will throw home, but Jazz beats the throw, and the Yankees are on the board first. They lead it 1-0. Now let's go to the top of the seventh. The runner on second, nobody out. David Fry is going to ground one to the right side, and LeMahieu can't come up with it.
Yeah, if you asked DJ after the game here, he probably would have told you I should have came up with that. At least knocked it down, would have got the first out there. But again, nonetheless, RBI single, and that seemed like the end for Rodon, but it definitely wasn't.
Nope, he finally got out of the inning 2 batters later. How about this? Kind of a break. Arias gets a little aggressive when the ball gets away from Grisham, so Grisham throws the ball into second.
The whereabouts to understand not to give up on the play. There's still another runner coming from behind. Big mistake right there by the runner. Huge second out. That changed the whole game right there.
So Rodon's done through 7. It's a 1-1 game. You're like, can his guys pick him up, get him a win? The answer is yes. First with Jazz Chisholm Jr. That shot to right, 105.7 off the bat. His 8th of the year makes it 2-1. And then that important next at bat for Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, at the time we didn't know how important that would be. But again, back-to-back home runs. Jazz hits his 11th extra base hit out of 20 at bat so far this year. And Volpe doing what he does best. Gets a hanging sweeper, gets the hands extended and says, hey, I'll wrap this one to left field. We'll go up 2 runs.
And then we said it got a little dicey in the 9th there. Runner at first, 2 outs. Bo Naylor coming up, and Devin Williams drops a little change up on the inside part of the plate. Inside out swing, fly ball left field, and Bellinger's got it. And the Yankees have the 3-2 win in 2 hours, 39 minutes. Carlos Rodon picking up his 8th win of the season as he goes 7 innings, a 5-hit, 1-run ball. Yankees 6-1 record in their last 7 one-run games, and they're 19-9 at home this season. We'll take another break. When we come back on the WB Mason postgame, we're going to hear from Carlos Rodon. Another terrific outing. We'll see what he has to say about it coming up next.
Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Great to have you back once again here on the WB Mason postgame as the Yankees get the 3-2 win over the Guardians. Carlos Rodon picking up his 8th win of the season. And think about this, over his last 4, he's allowed a total of just 2 earned runs, and he struck out 31 along the way after 8 more strikeouts tonight. Let's hear from Rodon about what was working.
Carlos, a couple singles there in that first inning, but then you were extremely efficient thereafter. What allowed you to do so?
You know, once again, JC called a great game, and then we had some big defensive plays there, you know, at the end with Grish with a great throw to second, and DJ with a great tag. So, you know, kept that game 1-1 for me and let me get that last out. And then, as you see, 2 big homers. It's nice to have Jazz back in the lineup and Volpe still swinging it. So, you know, good baseball game, and just Dev just hang in there and close it out and just keep going. So it was good.
What did you think of the immediate impact that Jazz had both defensively and on offense?
I mean, it's nice to have back, the speed, the dynamic he brings to the game. Obviously defensively at third, another great play, and then that swing there in the bottom of the seventh.
When the guy on the other side is throwing as well as you, I mean, you're focused on your game, but does it almost get you a little more pumped up when you go back out there?
Not really. I have a lot of trust in our lineup. We're pretty good, so I just go out there and try to get outs, and I know eventually they're going to score a run, so I'm not so worried about it.
You mentioned the play from Grisham there in that seventh inning, but overall, how were you able to bear down in that inning and minimize the damage?
Just had to go out there and make pitches, and they had some good swings there in that inning, and they had a good idea what they wanted to do. I mean, they barreled a few balls there. Obviously, Ramirez starting off the inning, 2 hits and 2 stolen bases. He brings he's got a dynamic to himself too. With speed, the defense. Good player, and then once again defensively, like I said, Grish. The little bobble and then the heck of a throw to second. So, I mean, they picked me up there and then just tried to bear down and get the third out. So, worked out.
How would you describe this run you've been on?
I think it's just a lot of it. These guys make it easy. I mean, offensively, we're so good. I just go out there. I just know I have to get outs, and eventually, we're going to score more than a few runs. And then, defensively all year we've been so great. It just makes it easy to pitch. Obviously it doesn't, go this way all the time, and there's ups and downs. But right now we're playing some pretty good baseball, and we just got to keep going.
Rodon talked about getting help from his teammates, but he helped himself in that top half of the first. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. They've got runners at second and third, 1 out. He's got to get Fry and Santana out.
Now watch these sequence here. This is a pro's pro. First pitch slider, trying to go back door. This was the only pitch right here, this second one, where I thought he got away with it. You're going to get 1 pitch as a hitter, and then you got the fastball up and away. You know what? Let's change the eye levels. Come back down now with the changeup. Okay, he went up with 1, down with another. Maybe let's try going up here with the heat. Not as high, and guess what? He chased. Huge out, huge momentum, and all of a sudden this one. Watch where the location is. Top left. Could have been a strike right there. Goes right back with the slider. Now watch these next 2 pitches. Low in the zone, right on the line, on the knees, fastball, boom. You think you're going to get another one? No, we're going to stay there, and we're going to throw that backdoor slider. Absolutely filthy, and when you're pitching like this and you're hitting the outside part of that box, it's going to be hard to hit the baseball, and it's going to be really good as a pitcher. You're going to get not many hits, and you're going to get some low life to that bat-to-ball ratio.
You look at the pitch breakdown. They went 0 for 9 against his 4-seamer with 3 strikeouts, 3 more against the changeup. Really love the 4-seamer slider and changeup combination in this one. And I'm glad you broke down that Santana at bat, because you showed that he could have gotten a called strike but didn't. If the second one wasn't a strike, things like that in the past seem to have tended to frustrate Rodon a little bit. He doesn't seem like that same, it's a completely different mindset for him right now.
Let it go. Control what you can control. And as a pitcher, you're understanding one thing. Umpire's going to call the game. The strike zone, as we know, we've talked about, it's different this year. They're not giving that extra buffer zone that the umpires used to have, so it's going to be a little bit tighter. Let it go. Focus on the next pitch. He did. And again, if you could take a picture of those last 4 pitches, guys, if you're a pitcher out there, do what he did right there. You're going to live pretty good if you keep doing that.
All right, we got to take another break here on the WB Mason postgame. We got more coming up from Jazz Chisholm Jr. Big impact in this game defensively with another home run, as well as he had 2 hits in this game. More from Jazz coming up next.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Remember, fans, tomorrow night's game between the Yankees and Guardians airs exclusively on Prime. Coverage begins at 6:30 with a pregame. Then first pitch set for 7:05 only on Prime. And then we'll be back with complete postgame coverage on Yes after the final out. Well, you take a look at the Yankees box score, and again, Not a lot of hits, just 5 total. A couple walks for Aaron Judge as he went 0 for 2. But Jazz Chisholm Jr. returned it with 2 hits and 3 at-bats, including a homer, plus a nice play on defense. Jazz was asked whether this was the kind of return that he had envisioned.
Honestly, I pictured a 3 for 3, but I'll take a 2. I'll take a 2 for 3. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, like every day sitting on that bench, you know, you're thinking about coming back. Especially, I didn't have the best start, but at the same time, like coming back and like just starting strong and starting the season over. You know, starting everything over 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way through, so you don't focus on what happened before. You know, so. Yeah, this is how I wanted to start my comeback.
A lot of players have ingrained patterns and everything is fixed. What is it in your personality in baseball education that you say, play me wherever, I don't care?
I just want to win. I want to ring. You know, we have a lot of great guys in here, and I've really valued teamwork my whole career. You know, all I think about is being a team guy. And I did it in Miami, where I moved from second base and went and played center field. Came over here, didn't play second base, played third base, and started off the season this year at second base, went back to third base again. So for me, it's just I want to win, you know. Like, I want to help my team win, and I'm not going to lie, this is my favorite organization I've ever been a part of. So I definitely want to help this team win.
Is there any challenge to making those switches?
Mentally, yeah. But at the same time, this is what you got these guys in here for, you know. You got Judge, you got Volpe, and they come and talk to you. And when you have such a good relationship with the manager, I mean, you don't mind doing anything for a guy that you have a good friendship with, you know what I mean?
Jazz, when you started this year at second base, did you think you were done at third? Do you think you weren't going to be back?
No, I really thought I was done at third base, not going to lie to you. I didn't think I was going to see it. I thought I left my career over there with a good stamp, you know? Yeah. But I guess we're back again. But we got to shine again. We can't let that reputation go down at third base.
Did you keep the second base glove from last year, or did you have to get a new one?
Oh, no, I've always been using the same glove in the infield, never changed the size, 11.5, never changed.
You make some of the mental changes like
the mental changes is just that, you know, you're at second base, you make that short throw every time, you know, you have a lot of time, you don't have to go after balls, go and get it. And the mental thing about it is, like, sometimes you catch the ball over there at third base and you look at the first baseman and you're like, wow, he's pretty far. You know what I mean? Like, even though you have the arm strength to get it over there, it's just like sometimes you look and it looks pretty far, and that's the mental thing of just being from second base and going to third base. But like I said, I got a lot of great guys in this room that back me up. If I wasn't playing third base good, they'd still come and back me up and tell me I'm playing great. So, you know, that's the best thing about it, is that I could just go out there and feel free every day to just do whatever. No matter if I go out there and don't play the best, my guys still got me.
What does having a guy like Goldschmidt at first do for you infielders?
Like I said, I could do anything over there. All I got to do is throw at the first base. You know, that's the beauty of going over there at third base. And, like, just like having Rizzo over there last year, you know, a guy who could pick it for you, you know. You just throw it anywhere and they got you. So it's pretty comfortable to just go over there, catch the ball first, and make a strong throw to first base. Just make sure the ball beat the guy there.
You're pretty far looking. You looked like off the bat you knew it was gone on the homer.
So our hitting coach told me a story about Reggie Jackson. He hit a homer that barely went over the fence, and he's like, hey, Reggie, how did you know that was gone? And he's like, well, I hit 567 of them. So I told my coach, my story is that I've hit 1,000 home runs in my dreams. So I had to know that one was gone, right?
So you just envision it. You just know, I guess, if it's going over the wall. Interesting about him playing defense, the fact that he thought he was done at third base. Now he's back, and sounds like the preparation's a little different. Maybe you got to make sure that arm's stretched out a little bit more, right, for the throw.
Very candid about third base, and I think that's the best part of it. And he understands when he does field the ball, and actually from a third baseman, it is pretty far to throw that ball to first base, especially when you get a backhander way back down the third baseline and you have to throw it again. It's a real quick catch and it's a real quick release. And going from second to third base, it's different because he said it well. Second base, you have plenty of time to throw the ball. You got plenty of time. At third base, you got to react. And when you do, you don't have much time. You take one step, throw it, hope for the best, and you hope your first baseman can pick it. Paul Goldschmidt's over there. He's going to do it most of the time.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. All right, now with Todd in the building, we've got to check in on how the Cincinnati Reds did tonight. They were hosting the Milwaukee Brewers, who had won 8 in a row. But what a big finish in this one. How about this, Todd? Top of the ninth, Reds up 4-2. Jake Bauers to center, but watch T.J. Friedl on this one.
Go up and get it, Robs. The home run. There he goes. Fire the cannons there. Great American ballpark, the Queen City. He went up and he went over and got it. What a beautiful thing right there.
And that would have put the Brewers ahead, but Reds go on to win it 4-2, so they snap Milwaukee's 8-game winning streak. Todd, now we'll take one more break, and when we come back here on the WB Mason postgame, a look ahead to Wednesday night's game. Clark Schmidt taking the hill, and we will talk about that coming up next.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel.
That one is driven to right field and deep. There it goes. See ya. Welcome back, Jazz Chisholm. It's 2-1 Yankees.
Michael, I think we got a Euro step coming.
And here's Volpe. There it goes. See ya. Back to back by the Yankees.
I was going to be very disappointed, Michael, if you didn't get to say see ya a few times.
The third baseman and the shortstop go back to back.
That's got a little flair to it.
Memorable moments presented by Prevagen, made for your brain. And the Yankees hope to make more good positive memories on Wednesday when they take on the Guardians in Game 2 of this series. It'll be Clark Schmidt against Luis Ortiz. The probables brought to you by Nissan. Ortiz has not won over his last 7, but has not gotten a lot of run support over that span. Meantime, Todd, Clark Schmidt helped himself out last time against the Angels. 6 innings of shutout baseball. And after starting the season on the IL, he wants to get on a little run now, make it his 9th start of the season on Wednesday night and get on a little bit of a roll like Rodon is on right now.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for him, he threw 99 pitches his last game. That's a big thing for him, too, as well. Get over that 5-inning limit and keep going and keep pushing. I think his best pitch, as we know, is that sweeper. Keep moving on and keep moving forward with that. Build off that fastball. Once that sweeper's working, then you can manipulate batters with everything else. But again, more consistency, and I think we're seeing that out of him here.
All right, we'll see if we see that on Wednesday night. We're back together with you. The game itself, along with the pregame on Prime, starting at 6:30. First pitch a little after 7 o'clock. Post-game coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app immediately after. Yankees open up the series against the Guardians with a 3-2 win. We look forward to seeing you again Wednesday night. Until then, take care.